Chilling up in the kingdom, chilling with Yahweh Shai and all the brothers and the sisters, cooling out, having fun, drinking yayan with Yahweh Shai up in the kingdom, yeah.
Who are we? Israel! Then who are we? Israel! Can't hear you!
Israel.
Who's the power?
Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai's the power.
I said, who's the power?
Yahweh Bahashim.
Shalom, Israel.
Shalom.
Welcome to Israelite School of Biblical History and Practical Knowledge. We're out here in Houston, Texas. Our physical address is 231 FM 1092 Stafford, Texas 77477. Class A Monday through Friday. All the times and days are right there on the poster. We got location out in Virginia. Their class days are Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. We got a location out in Rochester, New York. Their class days and times are the same as Virginia's. San Antonio, another location out here in Texas. You can check them out. Their class days and times are pretty similar to ours, but slightly different. They start a little later, end a little later. So yeah, if you're in the area, I highly recommend that you come to one of the schools. Don't sit back at home. Come get a part of it. Come get a part of it. All right. We do have the Blog Talk Radio at the brother Mashaba Banabad Tazapah hold down. That's Tuesdays and Thursdays, 10 a.m. And they also have like saved classes. So when you go to the Blog Talk Radio, like I do it through the iTunes or podcast, iCast, something like that. You can see the archive classes, so you can catch up on everything. They're just all listed there. Good classes, good topics, good teaching. So check them out. We got other YouTube channels that would like you to like, share, and subscribe. Of course, these channels, if you're on this one, you'll see all the other ones listed below from the main channel. We do have Israelwear. Israelwear is accepting orders. You can get you a headband, armbands, girdle, tunic, fringe shirt, however you want, any kind of design that you got in mind, hit up the sisters and they'll hook you up. We have Hebrew Academy in Rochester every Monday, in Houston every Tuesday, and in Virginia every Wednesday. All right, if you need to reach a priest or teacher, you can reach Priest Quatazap at 303-557-8979, or you can reach Priest Kazakia at 757-300-4047. We do have a business, Sweet Ambiance. If you like smelling good, you want to get some frankincense and myrrh, burn in the house, keep the house smelling righteous, or any kind of aroma, hit us up. It's also body oil that you can wear, and just keep you smelling good. Not sometimes, but all the time. All right. If you want to make any donations, you can drop any donations, alms, or offerings. You can drop that into the Wells Fargo account, or you can Zelle, Google Pay, or Cash App. All right, or Zelle. If you want to send any items to school, extra Bibles, apocryphers. We are low on apocryphers. If you want to send any items to the school, please hit up Priest Quatazap. He'll give you a good address where you can mail those items. Mailing to the school address is not always good because we're not here at the school 24/7 to receive the package. So hit up Priest Quatazap. He'll give you a good address where you can mail those items. All right. And that's it for the announcements. No.
Okay.
Mais um painho, rapidão.
Back of the teacher. Barakatah Yahweh.
Barakatah Yahweh.
By Hashem Yahushai.
By Hashem Yahushai.
Hawa'ah. Nathalinawa. A war. Layawam. The water. Aman.
That's blessed are you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai that gives us the light this day. Thanks, so be it. The light represents the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding we obtain through the scriptures. Matthew chapter 5, verse 16 says, "Let your light so shine before men, that they may see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven."
Barakatah Yahweh.
Barakatah Yahweh.
By Hashem Yahushai.
By Hashem Yahushai.
Hawa'ah. Nathalinawa. Rayak. Nagakah. The water. Aman.
That's blessed are you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai that gives to us a sweet savor. Thanks, so be it. The frankincense and myrrh represents our prayers going up to the Most High as a sweet savor. Psalms 141 verse 2 says, "Let my prayers be set forth before thee as incense."
Barakatah Yahweh.
Barakatah Yahweh.
By Hashem Yahushai.
By Hashem Yahushai.
Hawa'ah. Nathalinawa. Hashabbat. Bashalom. The water. Aman.
Blessed are you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai that gives to us the Sabbath in peace. Thank you, so be it.
Psalms 121 in Hebrew. Ainashah. Ayam Yum Yah. Al Aharyum. Na'ayah. Yabawa'ah. Isaiah. Yabawa'ah. Ma Yahweh. Sha'aisha. Shemayim. Wa Ratazah. La'ah. Lanathan. Lamawat. Regalia. Yala'ah. Nawam. Shasha Wamar. Yasha'ala. Yahweh. Shemaria. Yahweh. Tazaliah. Al. Yum Yah. Yad. Hashamash. Yala'ah. Hakayah. Bayawam. Wala'ah. Halabana. Bala Yala. Yahweh. Yashamaria. Makol Rai. Yashamar. Napashya. Yahweh. Yashamar. Hawalakya. Wa'ayah. Ma'aitan. Wa'ai Walam. Aman.
Psalm chapter 1 verse 21. Psalms 121. I will lift up my eyes unto the hills, from whence cometh my help. My help cometh from the Lord, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord is thy keeper. The Lord is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. The Lord shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in from this time forth, and even forevermore.
By Hashem Yahushai.
By Hashem Yahushai.
Shema Yasha'Allah.
Shema
Yahweh Allah Hayed Nawa.
Yahweh
Yahweh Echad. Shema Yashala.
Shema Yashala.
Yehovah Elohei Noah.
Yehovah Elohei Noah.
Yehovah Chad.
Yehovah Chad.
Shema Yashala.
Shema Yashala.
Yehovah Elohei Noah.
Yehovah Elohei Noah.
Yehovah Chad.
Yehovah Chad. Hear Israel. Yehovah our power. Yehovah is one.
It's the Lord's Prayer in Hebrew. Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Hayah, Shemka, Yehovah, Malakwatka, Taba'ah, Ratazaka, Hayah, Aisha, Ba'aratazah, Kawa, Hayah, Bashemayim, Latananawa, Lacham, Kol, Yewam, Wasalak Nawa, Kabawat Nawa, Kasalak Nawa, Kabawat Yinawa, Wala'ah, Dabiyanawa, Banasai 1, Abo, Hawashai Nawa, Mayan, Rai, Kaya, Laka, Amalakwa, Wa Allah, Wa Tapaha Rav, Wa I Walamyam, Aman.
Matthew chapter 6 verse 9. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen.
Aman. Ha, Asherah, Matazawa,
The Ten Commandments.
La'ah, Yahaya, Laka, Alahayim, Aharyim, Al-Panya.
Thou shalt have no other powers before me.
La'ah, Da'aisha, Laka, Pasal, Wala'ah, Da'ibadam.
Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image.
La'ah, Talakwak'at, Sham,
Yahweh,
Bashawa,
Thou shalt not take the name of Yahweh, thy power, in vain.
Zakar, Hayawam, Hashabat, Lakwadashwa,
Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy.
Kabad, Abaka, Wa, Amaka,
Honor thy father and thy mother.
La'ah, Taratazak,
Thou shalt not murder.
La'ah, Tana'at,
Thou shalt not commit adultery.
La'ah, Tagana,
Thou shalt not steal.
La'ah, Da'ina, Shakur,
Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor.
La'ah, La'kamad, Kol, Asherah, Lara'aika,
Thou shalt not cover anything that is thy neighbor's.
By Shem Yahushua,
By Shem Yahushua.
the water, Tabyat, Aman.
The Shabbat, please be seated.
Frank. Holy freak, them holy smells.
This is what he's doing them now at the summit. And the squeeze stops. That's nice.
Yeah, Damon the Rose.
Would you get a roller or a squeeze stop?
These boys.
I would have just spoke to squeeze stop. I got the roller from last time, but I would have got a squeeze stop too.
It's more convenient. Okay, so we're back again, right? Sounded like we was on Sabbath class yesterday, but that's what's happening. So, where we at? We had Numbers, right? We went over last week. What did we go over last week? Who was here? Yeah, y'all forgot? Y'all already forgot? What did we go over, Noah? Yeah, but what do we go over?
Balaam and Balak.
Right. Balaam and the donkey, Balak, right? And we touched on a few things about Balaam, a few things about his character, right? So I think it was a pretty good class. Related it back to some of the struggles that we face individually in today's time, trying to be God-fearing Israelites, and not letting your wants and your needs blind you from the actual mission, or make you make moves presumptuously, right? That's basically the gist of what we went over. So we'll continue. We got through that story, so we're going to continue in the numbers and the reading, and let's see what we got. Let's see what we got on the plate today. Where are we starting at? Numbers 25, right? Right. So let's hit the first reader. Whoever's going to read this, come around this way. You're going to see here. Man, it's been a minute.
I'm on Isaiah Shabbat Shah Yahawada Ban Yasharala.
I'm on Isaiah Shabbat Shah Yahawada Ban Yashala. Imani. Barak.
Yahawah Shem Yashab Brakatam.
Yahweh Shem Yahushua Barakatah.
Exit stage left. Stage right. Right? So, yeah.
Con. All right, Shalom Israel.
Shalom.
This is Numbers chapter 25 and verse 10. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Phinehas, the son of Eleazar, the son of Aaron the priest, had turned my wrath away from the children of Israel, while he was zealous for my sake among them.
Right. What happened previously? What happened right before? In the same chapter. This is where we ended off, right? So what happened? What, Mike?
Israel started worshiping other gods.
No. Well, yeah, but how? In what way?
Basically,
Remember the whole Josephus that we read?
basically sacrificing to another god.
No.
They were marrying the other women
Right.
and not following the statutes, and so they were slaves.
Right. Remember they went off with the Midianite women. What, Elijah?
Because they made a note to the Midianite women that they'll make them their masters.
Basically, they forsook the Most High and let the Midianite women basically imprison them. into serving them and serving their gods and eating their foods. So why did the Most High say that Phineas was zealous on his behalf for the law? Well, remember he slayed the Midianite man, the Midianite woman and the Israelite man?
Right.
Right. He killed them while they were laying in the bed together. Right?
Right. Verse 6.
Right. So you got to remember these things. And that's not the first instance of that, or that's not the last instance of that happening. When you're reading the Maccabees, it was Judas Maccabeus. He did the same thing. Killed someone. He killed a man. Right? In that instance, breaking the law. Now, obviously, we don't go through doing that. Right? We got to wait for the grace, the mercy, the repentance. Right? We got to let those things come into play. But go ahead.
That I consumed not the children of Israel in my jealousy. Verse 12. We're at Numbers chapter 25 and verse 12. Wherefore say, behold, I give unto him my covenant of peace, and he shall have it, and his seed after him, even a covenant of an everlasting priesthood, because he was zealous for his power, and made an atonement for the children of Israel. Now the name of the Israelite that was slain, even that was slain with the Midianitish woman, was Zimri, the son of Salu, a prince of a chief house among the Simeonites. Simeonites.
Right. So he was a prince, a chief man in the tribe of Simeon. Right? And so, I mean, y'all are reading it. For what Phinehas did, he got, what did it say? He got a covenant of peace, right?
God.
He shall have his seed after him, the covenant of they had the everlasting priesthood. So the Most High looked out for him.
Sweet.
He looked out for the Most High, and like the scriptures say, who will stand up for me against the evildoers and the workers of iniquity? He stood up. He stood up in a way to first of all, if he didn't do it, the whole nation would have been plagued, because that's what was starting to happen. A plague was running through. So he stood up. He went into action. And I know you're probably thinking like, man, that was extreme. He killed a man and a woman. Well, the Most High is extreme.
God.
Right? The Most High does extreme things in our lives to show us. The Most High kills. Right? He brings people back to life. He wounds, he heals. So, what may be extreme to us is not extreme for the Most High. Go ahead.
Verse 15. And the name of the Midianitish woman that was slain was Cosby, the daughter of Zur. He was head over the people, and of a chief house of Midian.
So what were they trying to do? What did that seem like? Two chiefs. Or two heads when they take their children and try to join them. What are they trying to do? What are they trying to do?
Intermingle with the covenant.
Right, some type of power move, some type of covenant, right? Could be. It don't say it, but you can only imagine these two chiefs. Hey, you get your daughter with my daughter, and we can form a strong alliance or a strong union. The point was, we weren't supposed to be forming an alliance with anybody outside of our people.
That's what.
Go ahead.
And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Vex the Midianites, and smite them, for they vex you with their wiles, wherewith they have beguiled you in the matter of Peor, and in the matter of Cosby, the daughter of a prince of Midian, their sister, which was slain in the day of the plague of Peor's sake. Chapter 26 and verse 1.
So any questions on 25? Pretty straightforward, right? If you need to catch up, all you gotta do is just, I know we started at verse 10, but that's where we ended last week, so all you gotta do is just read from 1 to 10 and you'll be in there. What's up?
Phineas,
Right?
he wasn't a Levite, but he still got gifted The priesthood?
No. Watch. Phinehas, go to chapter 25 and verse 11. Read that, Mike. He was definitely a Levite.
With the Numbers chapter 25 and verse 11.
Uh-huh.
Phinehas, the son of Eleazar,
Right.
the son of Aaron,
Right.
the priest.
You see that? So
Okay.
Phinehas was Aaron's grandson. Yeah, so he was
Dope.
definitely the priesthood, but the move that he made, it's like everybody's making power moves. His move was a move to solidify that priesthood would be with Aaron's seed. Not even knowing that he was going to do that, he was just standing up for what was right. And the Most High said, okay, look, this is going to be with y'all. You see that? So everybody's doing things knowingly and unknowingly it's like almost jousting for power. It's like Game of Thrones. Except for the righteous is not doing it. Watch, go to Corinthians. It's okay. It's not coming to me. The one that says I just had it in my head. It says we run. It says we do it for the crown, not corruptible. You know what I'm talking about? Thought it was in Corinthians.
It is.
Is what?
1 Corinthians 9:25.
Read that.
1 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 25. And every man that striveth for the mastery is temperate
Right.
in all things.
Right.
Now they do it to obtain a corruptible crown.
Right. Right. You got some that'll strive and do things for a corruptible crown, for the vain glory. Right? Go ahead.
But we, an incorruptible.
But we do things for the incorruptible crown. We're doing things out of righteousness' sake. Phinehas, he did this out of righteousness. He wasn't doing it for any other reason. He wasn't doing it to be looked at, to be seen. He was doing it because that's what was right. Right? Even though he slew a man. Right? He killed a man. But at that time, all is fair, right? When it came to breaking and keeping that law. And in order to save the people, someone had to make that stand at that time. And the Most High gave that lineage, right? Gave Aaron's lineage that blessing of the priesthood for a covenant all the way through. So y'all get that? Let's jump back.
Numbers chapter 26 and verse 1. And it came to pass after the plague that the Lord spake unto Moses and to Eleazar the son of Aaron the priest, saying, Take the sum of all the congregation of the children of Israel, from 20 years old and upward, throughout their father's house, all that are able to go to war in Israel. And Moses and Eleazar the priest spake with them, in the plains of Moab by Jordan near Jericho, saying, Take the sum of the people from 20 years old and upward, as the Lord commanded Moses and the children of Israel, which went forth out of the land of Egypt. Reuben, the eldest son of Israel, the children of Reuben, Hanak, of whom cometh the family of Hanakites. Of Palu, the family of Paluites. Of Hezron, the family of Hezronites. Of Carmi, the family of Carmites. These are the families of the Reubenites. And they that were numbered of them were 43,730. And the sons of Palu, Eliab. And the sons of Eliab, Nemuel, and Dathan, and Abiram. This is that Dathan and Abiram, which were famous in the congregation, who strove against Moses and against Aaron in the company of Korah, when they strove against the Lord. And the earth opened her mouth and swallowed them up together with Korah. When that company died, what time the fire devoured 250 men, and they became a sign. Notwithstanding, the children of Korah died not. The sons of Simeon, after their families, of Nemuel, the family of Nemulites, and Jamin, the family of Jaminites, of Jachin, the family of Jachinites, of Zerah, the family of Zerahites, of Shaul, the family of Shaulites. These are the family of the Simeonites, 22,200. The children of Gad, after the families of Zephon, the family of Zephonites, of Haggai, the family of Haggites, of Shunai, the family of Shunites, of Ozni, the family of Oznites, of Eri, the family of Eriites, of Arad, the family of Arites, of Aralai, the family of Aralites. These are the families of the children of Gad, according to those that were numbered of them, 40,500. The sons of Judah were and Onan, and and Onan died in the land of Canaan. And the sons of Judah, after their families, were of Shelah, the family of Shalonites, of Pharez, the family of Pharezites, of Zerah, the family of Zerahites. And the sons of Pharez were of Hezron, the family of Hezronites, of Hamul, the family of Hamulites. These are the families of Judah, according to those that were numbered of them, 16,500.
Right. So to get like a lot of these names going back, you could just read back in Genesis. You read back and you can read about like why did and Onan die? Judah's sons. What did they do? Who remembers? What?
Strange incense.
No. That was Aaron's sons.
Okay.
Remember one of them? He was supposed to go and do the law of his brother's wife.
Oh.
Spilled the seed. All it said about the other, I believe it said about that he was just wicked. That he was just wicked, and then he died. Then remember, and then right. Spilled the seed, and then the Most High killed him.
Right.
Right. So you can go back and read back in Genesis about some of these men.
Yeah, you're right.
To see why they were cut off. But this is just giving you the breakdown of the lineage up until this point. Numbering, remember, because we're numbering, taking the sum, they're numbering the congregation of men 20 years and up that are ready to battle. Go ahead, read on.
Verse 23. And the sons of Issachar, after their families, of Tola, the family of Tolites, of Bauah, the family of the Bauanites, of Jashub, the family of the Jashubites, and Shimron, the family of Shemonites.
Any questions? Pretty much straightforward, right? Next reading. Shemaiah, come on. Shemaiah, Shabbat Shah, Yahweh, Ban Yasha'Allah, men of Israel, I might. Barak.
Yahweh Shem Yahshua Bakathum.
Yahweh Shem Yahshua Brakatah.
Hey. Twist the wire. Oh, that's it.
Alright. Concerning the story of and Onan, it's in Genesis chapter 38. You can put that in your notes whenever you want to check that out. Genesis chapter 38.
Shalom, Israel.
Shalom.
This is Numbers chapter 26, verse 25. These are the families of Issachar, according to those that were numbered of them, 64,300. Of the sons of Zebulun, after their families, of Sered, the family of the Sardites, of Elon, the family of the Elonites, of Jaleel, the family of the Jaleelites. These are the families of the Zebulunites, according to those that were numbered of them, 64,500. Verse 28, the sons of Joseph, after their families, were Manasseh and Ephraim. Of the sons of Manasseh, of Machir, the family of the Machirites. And Machir begat Gilead. Of Gilead came the family of the Gileadites. These are the sons of Gilead. Of Jezer, the family of the Jezerites. Of Helek, the family of the Helekites. And of Asriel, the family of the Asrielites. And of Shechem, the family of the Shechemites. And of Shemida, the family of the Shemidaites. And of Hepher, the family of the Hepherites. And Zelophehad, and Zelophehad, the son of Hepher, had no sons, but daughters, and names of the daughters of Zelophehad were Mahlah and Noah, Hoglah, Milcah, and Haizah. These are the families of Manasseh, those that were numbered of them, 52,700. These are the sons of Ephraim, after their families of Shudalah, the family of the Shudalites. Of Becher, the family of the Becherites. Of Tahan, the family of the Tahanites. And these are the sons of Shudalah. Of Aaron, the family of the Aaronites. These are the families of Ephraim, according to those that were numbered of them, 32,500. These are the sons of Joseph after their families. The sons of Benjamin after their families. Bela, the family of the Belites. Of Ashbel, the family of the Ashbelites. Of Aharam, the family of the Aharamites. Of Shilham, the family of the Shilhamites. Of Hupham, the family of the Huphanites. And the sons of Bela were Ard and Naaman. Of Ard, the family of the Ardites. And of Naaman, the family of the Naamites. These are the sons of Benjamin, after their families. There were numbered of them were 45,600. These are the sons of Dan, after their families. Of Shuham, the family of the Shuhamites. These are the families of Dan, after their families. All the families of the Shuhamites, according to those that were numbered of them, were 64,400. Of the children of Asher, after the families of the children of Asher, after their families. Of Jemnah, the family of the Jemnites. Of Jeshua, the family of the Jeshuites. Of Beriah, the family of the Berites. Of the sons of Beriah, of Heber, the family of the Heberites. Of Melchiel, the family of the Melchielites. And the name of the daughter of Asher was Sarah. These are the families of the sons of Asher, according to those that were numbered of them, who were 53,400. Of the sons of Naphtali, after their families. Of Jezreel, the family of the Jezreelites. Of Guni, the family of the Gunites. Of Jezer, the family of the Jezreelites. Of Shilem, the family of the Shilemites. These are the families of Naphtali, according to their families. And they that were numbered of them were 45,400. These were the numbered of the children of Israel, 600,000 and 1,730. And the Most High spake unto Moses, saying, unto these the land shall be divided for an inheritance according to the number of names.
Right. So one key thing when you go back to verse 33, right? Zelophehad, they said he had no daughters. Or excuse me, he said he had no sons. Right? So we know in the law, the inheritance goes to who? Goes to the sons, and then it's passed through, or the sons, or there's no sons. Usually it's a male in the family. Right? Uncle, brother. Right? So just keep that in mind, because I believe in the next chapter we're gonna see like when you have an amendment of a law, or things are being amended or added, we're gonna see something being added on the behalf of these women that or on the behalf of this man that didn't have sons. Right? So just keep it in mind. Go ahead.
Numbers chapter 26, verse 54. To many thou shalt give the more inheritance, and to few thou shalt give the less inheritance. To every one shall his inheritance be given according to those that were numbered of him. Notwithstanding, the land shall be divided by lot. According to the names of the tribes of their fathers, they shall inherit. According to the lot shall the possession thereof be divided between many and few.
Right. This is what you call equity, fairness. Bigger tribe, bigger land. Smaller tribe, who was the smallest tribe? Benjamin. So we got the little bit of land, right? The bigger tribe, I think the big tribe was Manasseh. They had two, East and West Manasseh. They were on both sides of the Jordan, because they were huge. They had a lot That tribe was big, so they had a lot more land than a lot of the other tribes.
Right.
But that's only fair. That's what you would call being equitable or fairness, right? What was the point of the smaller tribe getting all the land than the bigger tribe having to condense everybody?
It's true.
Yeah, so the Most High was about equity. Go ahead.
Verse 57. And these are they that were numbered of the Levites after their families. Of Gershon, the family of the Gershonites. Of Kohath, the family of the Kohathites. Of Merari, the family of the Merarites. These are the families of the Levites, the family of the Leonites, the family of the Hebronites, the family of the Mahlites, the family of the Mushites, the family of the Korathites, and Kohath begot Amram.
Right. Right. So if you want to know who the family of the Levites are, 57 and 58 give you the main families where everybody stems from. All right? Any questions? I mean, there's a lot of names.
Con, man.
It's a lot of names and repetitive, right? It's repeating. So yeah, let's get the next reader. Yep. Benaiah Shabbat Shah Yahawada Ban Yashala. No. I'll do it again. Benaiah Shabbat Shah Yahawada Ban Yashala. I might. Alright?
Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shabbat
Yahweh Shem Shabbat.
God. It's a lovely day. Yeah, you're in Numbers 26 and 59.
Okay. Numbers chapter 26, verse 59. And the name of Aram's wife was Jochebed, the daughter of Levi, whom her mother bare to Levi in Egypt. And she bare unto Amram, Aaron, and Moses, and Miriam their sister. And unto Aram was born Nadab, and Abihu, Eleazar, and Ithamar. And Nadab and Abihu died when they offered strange fire before the Lord.
Right, so Aaron's sons is the one that died for the fire, the strange incense. Right? Go ahead.
Verse 62. And those that were numbered of them were 23,000, all males from a month old and upward. For they were not numbered among the children of Israel, because there was no inheritance given them among the children of Israel. These are they that were numbered by Moses and Eleazar the priest, who numbered the children of Israel in the plains of Moab by Jordan near Jericho. But among these there was not a man of them whom Moses and Aaron the priests numbered, when they numbered the children of Israel in the wilderness of Sinai. Verse 65. For the Lord hath said of them, they shall surely die in the wilderness, and there was not left a man of them, save Caleb the son of Jephunneh, and Joshua the son of Nun.
Right, because why did he say that they weren't gonna? Why did he say they were gonna die? What got us walking through the wilderness for 40 years, Michael?
The bad report.
The bad report on what?
Spies.
The spies on what? Tell me like you're teaching me.
So there was 12 spies to go spy out the land that we were going to inherit,
Which was?
Canaan.
Right.
And 10 out of the 12 came back with a bad report.
Right. 10 of the 12, Joshua and Caleb were the two, right, that had enough foresight and faith in the Most High to see that where the Most High was bringing us wasn't bad. The other 10, being chief men, they, like he said, brought up an evil report. The people are too strong. They got walls. They got this. They got that. So what do? They cause the people to go into this uproar and not want to go fight for the land. So the Most High said, well, your punishment will be that you walk through the wilderness for 40 years. You're all going to die. This whole generation is going to walk and die off. And the only ones that's going to make it from that generation, Joshua, Caleb, and then the children under the age of 20. Yep. Go ahead. Read next chapter.
Numbers 27, verse 1. Then came the daughters of Zelophehad, the son of Hepher, the son of Gilead, the son of Machir, the son of Manasseh, of the families of Manasseh, the son of Joseph. And these are the names of his daughters: Mahlah, Noah, and Hoglah, and Milcah, and Tirzah. And they stood before Moses, and before Eleazar the priest, and before the princes and all the congregation, by the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, saying, Our father died in the wilderness, and he was not in the company of them that gathered themselves together against the Lord in the company of Korah, but died in his own sin, and had no sons. Why should the name of our father be done away from among his family, because he hath no son? Give unto us therefore a possession among the brethren of our father. And Moses brought their cause before the Lord. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, The daughters of Zelophehad speak right. Thou shalt surely give them a possession of an inheritance among their father's brethren, and thou shalt cause the inheritance of their father to pass unto them. And thou shalt speak unto the children of Israel, saying, If a man die and have no sin, then ye shall cause his inheritance to pass unto his daughter. And if he have no daughter, then
if a man die and have no sin, no son. Did it say sin or son?
I said,
What'd you say?
I said son.
Wait, where you at?
8.
Have no son. Right. Okay. Go ahead.
Verse 9. And if he have no daughter, then ye shall give his inheritance unto his brethren. And if he have no brethren, then ye shall give his inheritance unto his father's brethren.
Uncles. Right.
And if his father's brethren have no brethren, then ye shall give his inheritance unto his kinsman, that is next to him of his family, and he shall possess it, and it shall be unto the children of Israel a statute of judgment, as the Lord commanded Moses.
Why was it important to keep the inheritance within the family? Why did he have to pass down like this? What was the purpose?
Was it because that assured them of always having the property, cattle, things that they can pass on to each generation?
Yeah, it was for, again, if I allotted this amount of land, I allotted 10 acres to Judah because of their size, but then the land is being redistributed through marriage or through, bad business deals. Oh, he died, so everybody can come take the land. You know how they do it in America, squatters' rights, right? You got 150 acres and you didn't gate it off and some cat just wants to come build on it. It's his now. These things were avoided because then you would put another tribe in a bad situation again of they need a certain amount of land just to live comfortably, right? The bigger tribes got the bigger land, the smaller tribes got the smaller land. And if you started to distribute that land in a way that it made it unfair for the bigger tribes or the smaller tribes, things would be out of whack.
No question. I know before we had a class and we were talking about the same thing, saying how it was important to make sure that we would marry in our own tribe because of this reason. So my question is, if these daughters were to marry outside of their tribe, would that go to their husband, or would that just them doing it this way means that the land stays within this tribe?
Well, one of the stipulations for the women to inherit was that they couldn't marry outside their tribe.
Yeah, it goes.
Go to Numbers. Go to Numbers 36. Yeah, there was a stipulation again to keep the land within the tribes, the inheritance with the tribes. The women, they couldn't marry. These Manassite women couldn't go marry Judah or marry a different man of a different tribe. This was the one stipulation where if you wanted to inherit this land as a woman, you had to marry within the tribe. You see that? So remember, in every situation, the women didn't inherit. It was only if there was no son. If there was a son, the land automatically stayed in the tribe. But in these little anomalies, in these little small percentage of a situation, like this was like a 1%, right? Out of all Israel, this was a 1%. This was the only situation that we read about, but I'm pretty sure there were others where, we were huge, right? So, it's still to ensure that going forward, things were done the right way, decently, and in order. The inheritance would have to stay in that tribe.
36 to 6.
36, start at verse 2.
Numbers chapter 36 and verse 2.
Right?
And they said, the Lord commanded my Lord to give the land for an inheritance by lot to the children of Israel.
Right?
And my Lord was commanded by the Lord to give the inheritance of Zelophehad, our brother, unto his daughters.
Right?
And if they be married to any of the sons of the other tribes of the children of Israel,
Right?
then shall their inheritance be taken from the inheritance of our fathers,
Right?
and shall be put to the inheritance of the tribe whereunto they are received.
Right?
So shall it be taken from the lot of our inheritance.
Right, so that's what would happen. The land would be taken, it would be redistributed. Right? Go ahead.
And when the
Jubilee
of the children of Israel shall be, then shall their inheritance be put unto the inheritance of the tribe whereunto they are received.
See, right, so, no, wait, hold on. The Jubilee, Did you already read 4? Wait, what's your question?
So it says that they were taking the inheritance of the tribe that they are received. Is that the tribe that they marry into?
Yeah. So that's what
they get the.
Right, that's what it's telling you.
Okay.
Right, well, we gotta read down.
Okay.
Wait, when we read down, he's gonna tell you
Oh, okay.
it's better for them to not inherit the land or marry outside the tribe. You see that? Because this is, think about it. When a man, you know what this is showing you? When a woman gets married to a man, all her possessions are his. Right? Everything that she has is his. Everything that she has, he inherits. he's now in control of. So, again, them being women of Manasseh was a big tribe. They had two plots of land. It was east and west. If they married these 5 women, imagine they start marrying outside of the tribe, and you got 5 women that went with 5 different tribes. Get them some water. Imagine you get 5 different tribes. The land is being distributed. As soon as they marry, that's what happens. There's no way around that. Whatever man they marry inherits that land, and whatever inheritance their father had. So now it's no longer with Manasseh. You see that? And then read verse 4.
Verse 4. And when the jubilee of the children of Israel shall be, then shall their inheritance be put unto their inheritance of the tribe whereunto they are received.
Go ahead.
So shall their inheritance be taken away from the inheritance of the tribe of our fathers.
Right, so even in the Jubilee, it still would stay with whatever tribe they married in. Read verse 5.
Verse 5. And Moses commanded the children of Israel according to the word of the Lord, saying, the tribe of the sons of Joseph hath said well. This is the thing which the Lord doeth command concerning the daughters of Zelophehad.
Right.
Saying, let them marry to whom they think best.
Right, love is love. Let them marry who they want, right? Go ahead.
Only to the family of the tribe of their father shall they marry.
Right.
So shall not the inheritance of the children of Israel be moved from tribe to tribe.
Right.
For every one of the children of Israel shall keep himself to the inheritance of the tribe of his fathers.
Right. So now check this out. So basically, it's making it seem like, oh, they could only marry within their tribe. Well, they can only marry within their tribe if they want to inherit land. They don't have to inherit that land. They can just let that pass to the uncles. So let's say, again, this same situation, and one of the daughters is checking out Benjamin, little Benjamin, right? She's like, oh, I like his style. I like his swag, right? He listens to the reggae and he cooks jerk chicken, right? Right? She might want to be with him. But then she got to forfeit that. Either she doesn't marry him to keep the land, or she forfeits the land to go be married. That's just how it works. It's going to tell us. Watch. Read on.
Verse 8.
Right?
And every daughter that possesses an inheritance in any tribe of the children of Israel shall be wife unto one of the family of the tribe of her father.
Right.
That the children of Israel may enjoy every man the inheritance of his fathers.
Right. Go ahead.
Neither shall the inheritance remove from one tribe to another tribe, but every one of the tribes of the children of Israel shall keep himself to his own inheritance.
Right. So they didn't have to take the inheritance, though. It tells you it could pass to the uncles. It tells you that in Numbers 27. What's that?
And the question.
Okay.
She was a Manasseh, right?
Right.
So she could go to Ephraim. She can marry Ephraim since it's the son of Joseph.
No. Well, let's go back to Numbers real quick. And before I say no, let's go back to Numbers and let's see. 'Cause I'm believing that it broke down Ephraim and Manasseh separately. Right? Where were we? It was Numbers. Right. Manasseh. Yeah. It broke down Ephraim and Manasseh separately. Right? So let's see here. Right, their father's brother's sons, and were married into the families of the sons of the Manasseh. Right. Watch, read on. Read on.
Verse 10.
Right.
even as the Lord commanded Moses. So did the daughters of Zelophehad for Mahlah, Tirzah, and Huldah, and Milcah, and Noah. The daughters of Zelophehad were married unto their father's brothers' sons.
Right, their father's brother's sons. Now it's going to give the distinction because, yes, Joseph had 2 sons. Right, now go ahead, 12.
And they were married into the families of the sons of Manasseh, the son of Joseph.
Right.
And their inheritance remained in the tribe of the family of their fathers.
Right, so remember, Ephraim was one tribe, Manasseh was another. They got their own land. So yeah, they couldn't go, even though Joseph was was their father. They still, when you break it down now, it's still broken down into 2 separate tribes with their own set of families. So they had to marry, again, if they wanted the land, if they wanted to inherit and marry outside of the tribe, that wouldn't work. If they wanted to inherit and they knew they were going to marry within their tribe, they could inherit. No matter what, it would stay, their husband would inherit it. He'd be a Manassite. It would stay in the tribe. Or, again, they could let the inheritance pass them by and go to their uncle or another male kin in Manasseh, and they can go marry whoever they want. You see that? So don't think that this right here, because I've seen it. Brothers will go here like, see, you got to marry within your tribe. Then they'll try to link that with Tobit and say you got to marry within your tribe. No, you don't have to marry within your tribe. Right? As long as it's an Israelite.
Okay, thank you.
As long as it's an Israelite,
So
right?
you get it twisted that you're talking about the Levites.
Right. Well, they're not in our tribe.
No, right.
They're Hebrews,
Some folks
but
get that twisted, though.
they're not in our tribe. They got their own 12 tribes. They got their own 12 princes that they can marry in, right? And they're free to go marry Canaan and all that, right? We got to stay within our tribes, right? Within our nation, right? There was nothing wrong with that. It was just now when the inheritance came into play, that's where it got a little, okay, what are you going to do? Get the inheritance? Or are you going to marry who, you're going to be happy and marry? And, in these days, we ain't got to deal with that. There's no inheritance to be had. We ain't got no land that we passing down. There's nothing. So you kind of free to just keep it in the tribe, right? Without having to even worry about, wait a minute, where's my inheritance going? What inheritance? This is our inheritance. This is what we're trying to re-inherit, the word, right? So, right, hopefully. So, let's see here. So if I'm Judah and my husband dies and I marry Benjamin, then that land can become Benjamin owned? Yeah, that's what would happen. Your husband, no matter whatever tribe he is, would now inherit your inheritance. Yep. On this is why marrying your cousin wasn't forbidden. Right. Yeah, at a time, cousins, Rebecca, Isaac, right? They were cousins. Jacob, Rachel, and Leah, they were cousins. Well, Jacob was cousin to Rachel and Leah. So yeah, it wasn't forbidden because it kept the blood untainted. It kept the inheritance within the tribes, within the family. Remember with Rebecca and Rebecca and Isaac, there were no tribes, right? There were no tribes. It was just a line of people keeping that righteous line. With Jacob, Rachel, and Leah, there were no tribes. The tribes didn't come until after Jacob, then the 12 tribes. You see that? So it was more of a bloodline thing and a righteous line, keeping that line pure with the cousin thing. And then with Noah, Shem, Ham, that's how they repopulated the world without having to do incest. Y'all see that? They were just cousins. Yeah, but now we don't have to do that. Right? I mean, there's no need for you to go grab your cousin when there's so many Israelites out in the world. Right? Think about it, we're so scattered. The blood is our bloodline is now, it's not as potent because we're so scattered out and mixing and doing this and doing that. But you don't have to do the cousin thing. You know, like my my dad used to tell me about that, and I didn't believe him. I'm like, what are you talking about? You know, when they were young kids, my dad was born. You know, my dad's almost 70, so they did a lot of things back in Jamaica that you'd be like, oh damn, that's biblical, but it's not needed. You know, that wasn't needed, but I guess when you hang out with your cousin all day, you might have experimented a few times. I don't know, right? But even,
Let's go.
but that's where you get the terminology kissing cousins. You ever hear that? Kissing cousins? Yeah. So, you know, it's not needed right now. It's not needed. There's plenty of Israel out there for you not to have to go be with your cousin or anything like that. Second cousin, third cousin. It happens though, right? You go, you know what I'm saying? You meet somebody, you hang out, you get a good time with them, and then you end up at the same funeral. Like, damn. Right? Or the same family reunion. Like, what the? Right? It happens. It happens. You know? So, yeah. So, yeah, sis. Basically, yeah, the inheritance at that time would transfer to the tribe. Okay? But remember, they didn't have to take the inheritance. They wanted to marry outside. That's how you know this is not a law saying you got to marry in your tribe, because they didn't have to take that inheritance. It could pass. It could pass to the next male in the tribe. I mean, everybody clear on that, right?
Okay.
Huh? Yeah. Yep. Let's go back.
Numbers chapter 27, verse 12. And the Lord said unto Moses, get thee up into this mount.
I mean, think about it. Think about all the wives that David had. They weren't all Judah. They weren't all Judah. I believe that Abigail was what, a Shulamite? Abigail was what?
You're right.
Was she Shulam? I believe that she was an Issacharite, right? Shulamites were Issacharites. The bedwarmer that David had, Abishag, no, she was the Shulam.
No, Abishag was the Issachar.
She was Issachar too, but I think, no, we're getting it mixed up. Abigail was one, Abishag was another, but one of them was Issachar. Right? But the point is, even if you look at the men of the Bible, they didn't just stick with their tribe. Right? They didn't just stick in their tribe and that was it, because it wasn't unlawful to marry outside of the tribe. I mean, y'all get that, right? Okay. Where you at?
Numbers chapter 27, verse 12. And the Lord said unto Moses, get thee up into this mount, Abarim, and see the land which I have given unto the children of Israel. And when thou hast seen it, thou also shalt be gathered unto thy people, as Aaron thy brother was gathered. For ye rebelled against my commandment in the desert of Zin, in the strife of the congregation, to sanctify me at the water before their eyes. That is the water of Meribah, in Kadesh, in the wilderness of Zin. And Moses spake unto the Lord, saying, Let the Lord, the God of the spirits of all flesh, set a man over the congregation, which may go out before them, and which may go in before them, and which may lead them out, and which may bring them in, that the congregation of the Lord be not as sheep which have no shepherd. And the Lord said unto Moses, Take thee Joshua the son of Nun, a man in whom is the Spirit, and lay thine hand upon him, and set him before Eleazar the priest, and before all the congregation, and give him a charge in their sight. And thou shalt put some of thine honor upon him, that all the congregation of the children of Israel may be obedient. And he shall stand before Eleazar the priest, who shall ask counsel for him after the judgment of Urim before the Lord. At his word shall they go out, and at his word they shall come in, both he and all the children of Israel with him, even all the congregation. And Moses did as the Lord commanded him, and he took Joshua and set him before Eleazar the priest and before all the congregation. And he laid his hands upon him and gave him a charge, as the Lord commanded by the hand of Moses.
Now think about that. The Most High just told him, you're going to go into the mountain. Just like your brother, you're going to go up into the mountain, look over into the land and die. But go anoint Joshua. How many of us how many of us would have been gung-ho to go anoint Joshua? Or gung-ho to do anything? You'd have been pissed off, right? No? Y'all, right? Be honest.
Probably would cry.
I'd be mad to the mother. Yeah, I'd be mad at somebody. Right? Come on, let's be real. The first thing you're gonna do is blame the Most High. You ain't even gonna look at yourself first. You're gonna blame the Most High. You're gonna side-eye Joshua, right? Give him the ice grill, evil eye. Man, he ain't better than me. Well, I gotta anoint him for it. Look how young he is, right? But Moses, again, you look at the character. Look at the character of Moses. I mean, he messed up. He messed up, and he had to eat it in the worst way. He had to eat it in the worst way, and he didn't take it out. Remember, Joshua rolled with him for about 40 years. A little bit longer. But Joshua was young. He rolled with him the whole time in the wilderness, 40 years, right? And a little bit before that. I mean, he was basically his servant. So Joshua was rolling with him the whole time and seeing all the things that Moses was doing right, whatever he did wrong, how he dealt with the people, his faith, how he dealt with the Most High, his respect. And then, Joshua got in, and then he made some detrimental mistakes concerning the Canaanites. He didn't follow through on the things that he should have followed through that affect us now. But the point was to be told, listen, you're gonna see the land from afar off. When you get up into the mountain, you're just gonna die. But before you die, bro, go do this last thing. Go anoint Joshua. And not just anoint him, but you're gonna teach and guide him. Put some of your honor on him, and you're gonna make sure that the people respect him. You're gonna start ushering him towards the people as their new leader, carnally, right? Yeah. So Moses had slowly now is doing what? He's taking a step back. Yeah. Yep. Slowly. Just think about that though. Think about any person put in that situation where you're literally handing over the mantle to the next man, right? And you may not be necessarily ready to go. It may not be your time, but you got to hand over that mantle. You're like, man, and you're training them at the same time. You're trying to make sure you're brotherly, you're sisterly. They're looking at you, asking questions. The Most High is look at Saul, how he took it. When the Most High said, "I got a neighbor that's better than you," he tried to kill him. Right? He tried to kill David. Right. So think about the spirit that Moses had to have on him to be able to understand what his mistake was, deal with it, and then still deal with Joshua and Caleb. Right. Caleb was there too, but Joshua was the man. But he had to deal with Joshua in a way where now he's not lashing out at Joshua. He's not putting the blame or mad on putting the blame on the Most High, and Joshua sees that and picks up those habits.
Yeah, that was just the opposite with Saul and David.
It was the opposite. Yeah, Saul tried to kill David. He didn't even try to forget teaching him. I would just take him out. Right? I would kill this man on multiple occasions. Try to kill his own son, same way. So, the spirit that was on Saul is the opposite spirit that was on Moses. And again, I said it yesterday. In class. That we're not supposed to be reading these stories and just thinking that it's a good novel. Cool story, bro. You're supposed to be looking at the characters in the stories, because there's always good and evil. Right. Most High said he sets good against evil, one against the other. That's perfection, right? There's always good and evil. There's always a lesson to be learned. There's always something to draw from that we apply to ourselves. And if you're not taking the stories and the character situations and the flaws and those different things and looking and saying, well, how does this apply to me? Then you're not really using the Bible. You're what the scriptures say not to be. You'll be the forgetful hearer. You'll be the hearer and not the doer.
Right.
The doer does what? He looks and says, damn, am I like Moses? If I was in this situation, that's why I keep asking y'all, how many of y'all would be pissed off? But if you can't be honest and look at the situation that you've already been in, because you've already been in Moses' situation.
Many times.
You've already been in the situation. You've already acted out what you would do. Right? Now, have you changed? Have you gotten better? Or did you move like Moses and are adding more virtue to yourself as you get older, as you read, right? Those are the questions. But if you're not looking at the stories and taking something from it to apply what to do and what not to do, then what are you really doing with the Bible? What's the point?
I'm often put in that position when you have to train like nurses that come in.
Right.
And this past year, I was at a school that I really, really liked. And
you said you really liked?
I really did like the
Okay.
school. But because of my position, I just moved around and just had a vacancy, so I had to fill in. So I actually had to train another nurse. And, I didn't like it, but I knew that they needed someone stable. But it also lets you see who you are, because there are areas where I could have been stronger, or where I made a mistake, or something that I, overlooked. Was I able to tell her, this is what not to do. It's not always to tell people what to do, it's to tell people don't do this, and so that they can be successful. So it does put you in a position to where it's kind of like, some people hold back information because it's kind of like, I want to be the one who's still looked at as the one who knows.
I want to still be valuable.
Who's right.
Yeah.
So do you do that in those situations? And a lot of people do it a lot of times, but
I was taught to operate like that.
A lot of times.
I was taught that when you're in a job and you're training somebody, you don't give them all the info. Because if you do, then you're no longer as valuable. Right? The information is key, but we already know how Esau rolls and how these corporations roll. They're looking at their bottom line. So if you're making more money than somebody that can come in and do your job for less, they don't get rid of you anyway, right? But really, your character is on the line. Forget about what Esau's doing or what this person's doing. What is our character supposed to be, right? Because even you can train somebody and do it disgruntledly, right, and do it with an attitude and come off a certain type of way. But are we supposed to be like that? No. We're not supposed to be like that. We're supposed to embody these characteristics. Moses, Joshua, Phinehas, right? Caleb. And as we keep going through just all these stories, we keep seeing just character do's and don'ts, character flaws and mishaps and schisms, right? That we should be saying, wait, is that in me? Like, am I like this? Right? And then saying, damn, if I'm like this, let me correct it. Because again, I'm gonna say it again, we've all been put in these little situations just through dealing with people where the opportunity is always there to show what character you really are. Right? Where are you really at in your spirit when it comes to your charity? Because anybody can have charity. Anybody can give somebody something, but how are you doing it? How are you doing it? Are you doing it are you giving grudgingly? Are you being forced, right? Are you like, oh, I'm being forced to do this, or I feel like I'm forced to do something good. You shouldn't feel forced to do good. It should just be naturally occurring in us. And the more it's naturally occurring, the easier it is to do. And the easier it is to overlook when a person abuses your charity, or when a person takes advantage or despitefully uses you. Those worries don't come into play. You know what I mean? So, again, if you're not internalizing these stories and really trying to apply them and saying, damn, what would I do? What would I do? Then you're not really using the scriptures.
When I first came in the truth, I was the only sister among all the brothers. Right? And the last sister left and went to a different camp, so I didn't know how to do anything. And but I remember praying that, please bring some other sisters in here, because I don't want to sit here with a bunch of brothers. It's odd.
Right.
But I remember praying that, and so they started coming in, I'm like, yes, And what the thing was that the Most High had me kind of showing them things, and I wasn't ready to be an example. I didn't want to be an example. That's a lot of responsibility. And so I was doing things that I'd already done in the past, and y'all on your own.
Right.
But it wasn't what the Most High had in mind. So what I did was I prayed a prayer where, you're asking the Most High to give them more than what you had. Because I came in at a late stage. They were coming in young. And so when I started seeing them develop past me, the first thing I thought was, okay, well, I guess I ain't needed, and, so I had to, my light was kind of dimming, but, I grew to like that, it wasn't that I wanted to be less of an example eventually, but that I wanted them to shine more. And I remember telling Amawana that, it said, when I die, when I'm on my deathbed, you better not come talking no foolishness to me. You better tell me something good about the Most High. And it better be good, okay? Don't come crying and all that stuff. Tell me something about the Most High, I wanted him to learn more than I did. And that kept it in balance for me, so that when I was, sometimes in my mind, like, oh, they can do this, and I don't care for it, then what did you pray your prayer for?
Right.
So that helps you pass it along a little easier. Like I see the sisters now, and the Most High, sometimes I feel kind of useless, and like, my health condition doesn't allow me to do a lot of stuff I used to do. And I see the sister, I'm like, wow, I'm like, I can't sew like they sew, and I don't do this, and I don't do that, anymore. And then the Most High, the Spirit dealt with me, but they're here,
Right.
You help bring them in, not maybe directly, but you prayed them in all those years ago.
Right.
And you're doing really good and everything, you'd be happy with that.
Yeah. It's just like, think about this. What was Yahushua doing for the apostles? Wasn't he grooming them? He said He said it. He said, you're going to do these things and more. You're going to do everything that I'm doing. You're going to cast out devils. You're going to call fire from heaven. You're going to turn bread into this and wine into water and water into wine and raise the dead. And you're going to do all these things and more, right? All he was doing was grooming them for the more. He didn't hold back. He gave them every secret. Everything they asked, what did he do? He revealed the dark parables. As long as they asked, he taught them. As long as they showed themselves that they wanted to know and they weared out his doorsteps, he would show them. He would show them, look, this is how you do this. This is how you do that. This is how you make this happen. He didn't hold back anything from them, knowing what? That he would do them a disservice. Right? It's like if I held back things from brothers on, obviously there's levels of brothers, there's ranks of brothers, so every brother don't know everything, right? But the officers, if I held back things from the officers, I would stunt their growth. And now if I can't perform in an area or if I get sick for a week, or whatever the case may be, do things diminish on me holding information? Or do things need to keep going as if or as is? And those are the things that we understand in the wisdom. The wisdom of it all is to pour out your cup into that cup. Pour out as much as you can. You know, I was talking to me and Kazak was talking about something along these lines, you know, about just having enough to put in to everyone. And even though you'll have men and women that you'll pour into them, and they'll pour the cup right out on the ground and say, no, I don't want that. Right? Look you dead in the eyes like, nah, nigga, I don't want the truth. Right? And you're pouring into them, and they're pouring the cup out. You pour a little bit, they pour it out. You pour, they pour. But where does my pour come from? Where does my cup keep filling up to be able to pour? Right? Where does that, it's like the Most High will always, because that's a worry also. Sometimes as a leader, I'm pouring into people. I'm pouring in my time, pouring in energy. We pour in just this substance of things, right? And you never know who's going to use it. Just don't know, right? You can't say, oh, because I'm doing it, they have to get it. There could always be a rejection that I don't want this. That's always a thing. You just never know where it's going to come from. And it's a dicey thing as a leader to be able to constantly pour in and not look at what you're pouring in or how much. Just do it. Right? You just do it, knowing that what? The Most High is going to constantly give you enough to keep doing what you got to do.
Right.
You know, so, you know, even this leadership, Moses as the leader, he could look at Joshua like he's not worthy. He's too young. He's not gonna do it the way I did it. But he couldn't, because the Most High already gave Joshua what? He already gave him the blessing. He told him, look, you get Joshua, he's the one. Right? So again, a lot of things that men got to deal with as leaders, and dealing with other men and women, and putting yourself on that you know, putting yourself in that stead to be able to give to the next man without looking at what you're losing, without looking at, oh, he's going to take my position. You know, Moses had to go through all those things. But again, I'm going to say it again. We've all been there in some form or another. We've all been there as Moses, and there was a Joshua next to us that needed the pertinent information, that they needed the potency of whatever it was for you to offer, but did you give it?
Right.
And how did you give it? Right?
Yeah.
How did you give it? Did you do it willingly, or did you do it grudgingly?
Mm-hmm.
Those are the things that we ask ourselves, and we examine ourselves through the Bible. What's up?
Is that scripture for you, sir? It's John 15, verse 14 and 15.
You can read it.
It says John chapter 15, verse 14 and 15.
Right?
Ye are my friends, if you do whatsoever I command you.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 15. Henceforth I call you not servants, for the servant knoweth not what his Lord doeth. But I have called you friends. For all things that I have heard of my Father, I have made known unto you.
Why you go there?
Well, because if Yahweh Shai thought like we think of holding things back,
Right.
he wouldn't have gave us all the information that he gave us. And he wouldn't try to push the apostles, and basically he gave even the apostles coming from Saul, everybody else, they wouldn't have got the information and brought it out to us the way it's brought out to us today.
Right.
See, that's what I mean.
Yeah. I mean, y'all all see that, right?
I used to work with this Elamite here in Houston, and in short, he had to go through that situation of training somebody to take his position. He quit. He gave up. He's like, nah, I ain't doing that. He didn't share the information, and he quit. So I bring that up because we might not even hide the grudge. We're just like, nah, I'm done. Bye. Find somebody else to train them. That's whack.
Yeah, and in Esau's world, that works. That's dog eat dog, right?
Yeah.
Survival of the fittest. But in the Most High's world, that doesn't work, right? You're always training the next man to be able to take your spot. And it's not a take your spot in a way of, oh, I'm better than you, but it's the next man up. Who's gonna step up so we can do bigger and better things? We can only do as much as many teachers we're allowed, as many counselors as we're allowed. We can only counsel so much, teach so much, travel so much with what we have. But if everyone can teach, then what? We can go wherever we want. We can go to more than one or two places, right? We're not limited. So the whole point is, how do we make ourselves not limited? That should be the mind state. That should be y'all's mind state. That if I'm part of the body, am I stepping in there to be the Joshua to take the mantle? I always ask the question, and I'm gonna ask it again. If somehow I hopped in the car right now after class and didn't make it home, who's ready to get up here and teach Sabbath class? Basically, would class keep going? Would the camp keep going? Forget about class. Would the camp keep moving forward? That's a question you got to ask yourself. That's the questions I ask myself. Concerning, remember, there's 3 schools we got to deal with. So if something happens in one school, it affects all 3. Right? But who's Joshua ready to take the mantle? Right? There's many Moseses trying to give the information. That's why we do class. That's why we do this every week. That's why we try to get brothers together, sisters together, give the information, share things, have the councils, have the talks. Right? We're trying to empty our cup. But who's ready to get their cup filled up and actually do something? That's the question. If something was to happen, who can step, not who wants to, but who can? See, it's not a want thing either, right? It's a who has the ability, who's going to have the ability to step in and keep things moving forward. That's the question that everybody got to deal with, right? You had your hand up?
Before, just like right now, as we're reading this story, I always thought that Yahweh Shai just told Moses, Joshua's going to take your place. But as we're reading it, I'm reading that Moses asked Yahweh Shai so that way the people wouldn't be without a shepherd. And it's like, this is him asking Yahweh Shai after he was told he was going to die.
Yep.
After he was told, he still was not selfish and still cared for the people that he asked Yahweh Shai, can you appoint somebody over them so that they could, that person could get them out.
I missed that part.
And it's just like, wow.
Good point. That's verse 15. That's Numbers 27 and 15. And Moses spake unto the Lord, saying, let the Lord, the power of the spirits of all flesh, set a man over the congregation. That's Moses. That's Moses for you. But that should be all of our mind state. Right? What man is going to be over the congregation if the man over the congregation ain't around? Anything could happen. It could just happen just to test y'all. Right? I always think about, listen, it might sound harsh. I always think about something happening to the Kazakh or Zion in the way of what would my next move have to be in order to keep all the 3 schools going? What would I have to become now? What would I have to do? Well, I wouldn't be tied down to Houston anymore. I'd have to be in 2 states until somebody stepped up to be able to handle one of the states. You see my point? That's where my mind is, because anything can happen, right? Most High can take out Kazakh, he can take out Zion, he can take me out, he can take anybody out. We're not above death. Let's be real. But is anybody else thinking like that? Now wait a minute, if something if Quadazop ain't around, if Kazak ain't around, where do I fall into the equation? It's important, right? I mean, you gotta listen. Those are the things that I think about. Those are the things that I think about because at the end of the day, what happens if we shut down Houston? Is that what would happen? We just shut down Houston? I ain't nobody, first of all. But do we shut down Houston? All of a sudden, no class, no feast days, everybody just do whatever the hell they want, freelance, no structure, no building, no nothing? Oh, somebody would have to step up, right? Right. So y'all mind should be on, is it going to be me? It should be me. What do I have to do? What part can I play to make sure that if this person ain't around or that person ain't around, things keep moving forward? That should be the mind state. Right? The whole camp would be, let's see here. The whole camp would be because men would be shifted around. This is why I try to show with support how much I appreciate the leadership Most High knows. Yeah, I mean, we would hope that the camp would still be and be around, but how would it be around? That's the question. That's the question. Would there still be, would it diminish? Would it go up? That's the question that we gotta ask. What's that?
Yeah, but it already happened, because we were in Denver.
Right?
And that shut down, and now look where we are now, okay?
Well, it didn't, but remember, Denver was more of a, okay, we're all collectively gonna move out of Denver. We all know that.
Yeah, yeah.
Boom. I'm talking about something just happening. Again, I jump in the car, headed home, and I don't make it home. I get hit by the train. Right? Somehow I get hit by the train. That's what I'm talking about. Is there a readiness now?
But what happened when Kazaki decided to move to Virginia?
Well, even that was a prepping.
Yeah. Okay.
We prepped for that.
Right.
And there was a grooming, and we spoke about that 3 years in advance. Me and Kazak was talking about that before we let anybody know for years. Right? And we prepped and we groomed and we planned and we think about it. You know who was supposed to go to Virginia? It was supposed to be Kazak, Shatat, Zion. That's who was supposed to go to Virginia. And it changed. Then it changed back. Then it went to this. Then it went to this brother. Then this brother was supposed to go. And then this brother. And then all these years of planning, it kept changing because of situation. But we had time to prep and plan. I'm talking about spur of the moment. I'm here today and y'all don't see me tomorrow. What y'all gonna do? What brother is ready?
Keep going, because.
But how?
In the spirit of you and Kazaki, the spirit that he laid on you guys.
But my point is this. My point is this to the entire body. And this is for Virginia if you're listening. This is for Rochester if you're listening. The point is how. Everyone look at themselves and say, yes, I know scriptures, right? But what methods am I going to employ to be able to do things on the same level? Is it about tossing scriptures? Right? Like, okay, I'll give you a perfect example. Or I'll ask you this question. Besides Tahawam, how many other brothers in the camp would you go to for counsel? Not very many, right? That's my point. The point is, everybody should be working to move themselves up to the point where any brother can give counsel. That's the point. Every brother should be able to teach. That's the point. It don't matter about your age, your body ailments, or anything like that. If you can sit here and read, that means you can study enough to be able to administer the wisdom. That's it. That's my point. My point ain't, can you go to damn Jeremiah 14:2? Anybody could do that, or break down color of Christ. Right? I don't remember none of them scriptures, but I can break it down. I can't tell you where no scripture is at, barely. But I can break it down. Right? My memory ain't the same. But the point is, how is it going to be done? And is somebody ready now to step in now if something happened? That's where my mind be at. Like I always say, like I said earlier, I don't think these things because it's malicious thinking. It's real thinking. I think, like, what if I get the phone call and something happened to Kazak? Okay, what's the next thing? Well, then Virginia got to be taken care of. There's no other teacher out there. So now I would have to be that in two places at once.
Okay.
That's where my mind is. You see what I'm saying? Or Rochester. Then now we got to figure out how we get Rochester, keep them going, and not diminish that because we're missing a teacher. We got to get something going. We got to develop a plan. We got to kind of have a plan. You know, and sometimes we don't think about these things, but the more you think about these things, the more you'll push yourself to be in position. The scriptures say be ready a year ago. Be forward a year ago, be ready, right? My question is, who's ready? Right? The time should be now in everybody's mind. You see that?
I was thinking that since, okay, women used to not do EO, period.
Right? I remember?
Yeah. Okay. And then it evolved into sisters are doing EO, they're producing product, they're inventing product. You know?
Yep.
And so that frees up more time for the brothers who used to be in EO sun up to sunset, okay?
Yep.
And they add more hours onto that and stay those hours too, you know? And so that, with the sisters being that way, that gives more support for the men to study and become that.
You would think so.
Well,
You would think so, right? Because that's in kingdom thinking. Brothers got more time to study and get right. You'd be surprised. That's more time for Netflix, HBO series. That's more time for TV. That's more time for just hanging out. That's more time for nothingness.
That's true.
I mean, brothers, y'all gonna be honest? Anyway.
I mean, that would be my thinking, you know.
Of course it would.
You know, that's why.
But that's everyone's thinking until you're put in it.
And, yeah, you're right.
And you got that free time, and you like, study or Netflix, study or Batman, study or anime. I'm being serious. I'm being real, and the reason why I can say it and say it with a whole heart is because, and know that I'm right because of what brothers be dealing with. They're not that brothers ain't growing or anything like that, but some of the issues, they're still in Ecclesiasticus 2, the first stage, but they've been here for years. Brothers are still trying to fight masturbation. Let's be real. Brothers are still trying to put down video game habits. Right? So you would think the more time that now I could dive into the book more. No, not everybody moves like that.
That's true.
When I have my time, that's what I was doing. And when I didn't have the time, that's what I was doing. I was sacrificing time. Staying up till 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning, having to be at the mall at 9, staying up till 5 in the morning, killing myself, taking that time because I knew that once you get into a certain position, like I don't have time to really sit back and study right now. Hell nah. I don't have time. I'm studying. It's like a work study, right? It's work study. Because if you're constantly putting out fires and dealing with things, you don't have time to sit back and just read things and study for 8 hours. I used to study 8 hours, 10 hours, right? That was me. But again, who's doing that? Who's saying that, damn, there's going to be a time when I'm going to run the school? Those were my thoughts. Like, I'm about to run this school one day. And that's what was being told to me, and that's what I was thinking on, so I was acting towards those things. But brothers got to have in their mind, too, that one day they can run the school or run a school. That's what we want. We don't want lifetime students, right? One day he might run a school, but is he doing the things that he needs to do now? How old are you? 14. As a 15-year-old, no, as a 14-year-old, knowing what's required. He knows what's required, right? This is the time now for him to soak up all the info, soak up all the experience. That way, when he hits 20, 21. He's not making my 21-year-old mistakes. Kazak's, his dad, right? Now's the time, but are we using the time? And then when we don't have it, it's like, oh, see, I ain't got no time. Y'all just got me working. That's what sisters be dealing with. Even the mall sisters. Oh, yeah, we just work. No, you don't. Okay, watch. We're going to ease up the schedule. And what you going to do? You going to study? You going to battle? You going to fight? You going to, like, it doesn't matter what you're doing. It's what you want to do. It don't matter what you got in front of you. It doesn't matter how much you're working. People in the world work 80 hours a week and still find time to do the things that they need to do and want to do. Right? So we got to do the same thing. We got to have our minds set on the goal. If your mind is set on a goal and your mind is trying to achieve a goal, it doesn't matter what's in front of you. You're going to push towards that goal. It doesn't matter how much sleep you ain't getting. You know how much sleep I haven't gotten? Man, I'm tired now. I'm exhausted. But it doesn't matter. Right? It doesn't matter. It's what is the goal? Well, we got to get this class going. We got to get street speaking. We got to do this. We got to do these things to keep pushing forward. That's my mind. That should be everyone's mind in the school. Right? No one person should stop. There's a saying, one monkey don't stop the circus or stop the show, right? But that should be the mind. One person don't stop this. And yes, the Most High is in the control of it. But we have seen that when one man is not around, and if the men aren't ready to take and step in, then it will fall. If they step in and they do things the wrong way, it will fall, right? But if things are done the right way, if things are done through counsel, if things are done through communication, yes, it'll keep going. It'll keep going.
So it's a matter of who's going to uphold the standard.
Thank you.
You know,
Because,
was set.
thank you. It's like if a brother came up and just started teaching and all of a sudden the book of Enoch starts coming out. Wait a minute, we didn't learn the book of Enoch with Kazak, Quadazab, Tahawant, right? But then all of a sudden the next group of brothers come into the book of Enoch. Y'all be like, what the hell's going on here? That's not the standard. Well, it's part of the knowledge, right? But it's not the standard. So is the standard going to diminish is the question. We can all gather in the name of something.
That's true.
Right? We can all come every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, but what is it that y'all going to be going through and learning? If a cat pulls up and all of a sudden he got the chalice 10 feet high and he just start pouring Hennessy into the thing and so what's y'all's questions? Right? Y'all gonna look like, wait a minute. So we drinking now?
Wow.
We drinking and teaching? That's what y'all gonna think, right? Like where did that come from? But Joshua, going back, what was Joshua picking up from Moses? To not do those things. Why put your honor on him? Why have him walk with you for 40 years to ensure that the standard wasn't going to diminish? Joshua made mistakes. Moses made mistakes, right? And you can't avoid mistakes. We're men. But you can still uphold standard and push for that. And that's all I'm saying. Somebody had their hand up.
I did.
Yeah.
And I love, actually, the point you were talking about, I actually love what Kazaki was saying at the summit. Get his skill. Basically, we all have to strive at being blameless, and it seems like we tend to get stuck right there. We tend to get stuck on, well, I'm not perfect, or I still have flaws. But that doesn't mean you don't clean up what you messed up and still push forward. But then, of course, when we have goals, things we want to do, going to school, being whatever, we push for those things, the things of the spirit, we tend to get lax with that.
Yeah.
Not realizing that that's the greater.
And that's the thing. Nobody's perfect. And just even think about the Moses and Joshua situation. If Joshua was looking at Moses for his imperfection, he could have said, no, I don't want to learn from him. You told him to do something and he didn't do it. So what qualifies him to teach me? Right? I'm not perfect, but I try to uphold the standard, right? But I'm not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. I'm not perfect. He's not perfect. Baccarat, Shaddai, we're not perfect, but we're doing the things daily to be qualified to be able to say, okay, I know I'm not perfect, but you still got to clean up. I know I'm not perfect, but you still got to do this. Avenging all disobedience once your obedience is fulfilled. It's never going to be fulfilled all the way until Christ comes. But who's daily going through and saying, man, I know I got to work on these things. Let me start working. Let me work on these things. Let me get these things out of me, right? Let me get the drunkenness. Let me get the anger, the hate, the jealousy, those things out of me. And let me work on those things daily and not forget and not relapse. While still examining and saying, okay, I can get better. There's always another level to go to, because there is. We always say it. Once you thought you long suffered, oh, here comes your neighbor, right? To prove you. Every man shall profess his own good, but his neighbor searcheth them out. Here comes your neighbor to prove your long suffering. Oh, I got charity. Well, guess what? They're going to move in. Let's see. Right? Oh, I got love. Oh, let's see. This is going to happen. Let's prove it. Let's prove your love. Right? All these things are going to happen to prove and to show us that there's another level to go to. You see that? So yes, the not being perfect thing, none of us perfect. But who's trying to strive for that perfection daily is the question. And that's what we all should be doing. And if we all do that, there wouldn't be a question of, well, if this brother ain't around, what's going to happen? If this brother ain't around, what's going to happen? I believe this, that it doesn't matter who's around, the Most High, he'll keep us going because of our intention. Because of the way we've been moving for years, right? We're not doing it for the vainglory. We're not doing it for the fame, the money. We broke anyway. So if we ain't rich after 20 years of doing this, then obviously it ain't about money, right? If we ain't famous, like nobody even knows us. They be putting up memes with fake camp leaders and da-da-da-da, and my face ain't on there. They be putting up all these other cats, right? They putting damn Johanna with Creflo Dollar. And I'm looking like, where's Kazak's face? Where's mine? I'm like, cool. They don't even know us. I'm happy. Flying under the radar because that's how I like it. Because that it's not about, that glory for me, for Kazak, Zion. It ain't about that. It's about y'all. How do we do this thing together and move forward in the spirit of Christ? You see that? So let's jump back. Good talk. I like these little talks, man. They're real intimate. Hey, I'm just trying to show y'all where my mind be at. The things that I muse upon, the thoughts that hit me daily. You know what I mean? They're important. Where you at?
Numbers chapter 28, verse 1.
Right.
And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Command the children of Israel, and say unto them, My offering and my bread for my sacrifices made by fire, for a sweet savor unto me, shall ye observe to offer unto me in their due season. And thou shalt say unto them, This is the offering made by fire which ye shall offer unto the Lord, 2 lambs of the first year without spot day by day, for a continual burnt offering. The 1 lamb shalt thou offer in the morning, and the other shalt thou offer at even. And the 10th part of an ephah of flour for a meat offering, mingled with the 4th part of an hin of beaten oil.
Oh, that's it for you? Right. Any questions? No? All right. You haven't read yet?
No, number 5.
You haven't read yet?
6, 4, 7.
Right. My son.
Elijah Shah, Yashakad, Ban Yashala.
Elijah Shabbat Shah, Yashakar, Ban Yashala. I might it. Barak.
Yahweh Shem Yahushua Rakatha.
Yahweh Hashem Yahushua Barakatah.
Numbers chapter 28 and verse 6. It is a continual burnt offering which was ordained in Mount Sinai for a sweet Savior, a sacrifice made by fire unto the Lord. And the drink offering thereof shall be the fourth part of an hin for the one lamb. In the holy place shalt thou cause the strong wine to be poured unto the Lord for a drink offering. And the other lamb shalt thou offer at even, as a meat offering of the morning, and as a drink offering thereof thou shalt offer it, a sacrifice made by fire, a sweet Savior unto the Lord. And on the Sabbath day 2 lambs of the first year without spot, and 2 dells of flour for a meat offering mingled with oil, and the drink offering thereof. This is the burnt offering of every Sabbath, beside the continual burnt offering and his drink offering. And in the beginning of your months ye shall offer a burnt offering unto the Lord, 2 young bullocks and 1 ram, 7 lambs of the first year without spot, and 3/10 deals of flour for a meat offering mingled with oil for 1 bullock, and 2/10 deals of flour for a meat offering mingled with oil for 1 ram, and a several 10 deal of flour mingled with oil for a meat offering unto 1 lamb, for a burnt offering of a sweet Savior, a sacrifice made by fire unto the Lord. And their drink offering shall be half an hin of wine unto a bullock, and the 3rd part of an hin unto a ram, and the 4th part of an hin unto a lamb. This is the burnt offering of every month throughout the months of the year. And 1 kid of the goats for a sin offering unto the Lord shall be offered, beside the continual burnt offering and his drink offering. And in the 14th day of the first month is a Passover of the Lord, and in the 15th day of this month is a feast. 7 days shall unleavened bread be eaten. In the first day shall be an holy convocation. Ye shall do no manner of servile work therein, but ye shall offer a sacrifice made by fire for a burnt offering unto the Lord, 2 young bullocks and 1 ram, and 7 lambs of the first year. They shall be unto you without blemish, and their meat offering shall be of flour mingled with oil. 3/10 deals shall ye offer for a bullock, and 2/10 deals for a ram. A several 10th deal shalt thou offer for every lamb throughout the 7 lambs, and 1 goat for a sin offering to make an atonement for you. Ye shall offer these beside the burnt offering in the morning, which is for a continual burnt offering. After this manner ye shall offer daily throughout the 7 days the meat of the sacrifice.
Wait, how many days? Read it again. Very key here. Read that.
After this manner ye shall offer daily throughout the 7 days.
Right. Why is that significant? Why did I stop us there? Yashakar.
That was the standard. That's what they did.
But think about 7 days. Common thought is what? On the Sabbath, we just didn't do anything. There was no fire kindled. There was nothing going on. It's telling you here that verse 23, read it.
Verse 23, ye shall offer these beside the burnt offering in the morning, which is for a continual burnt offering.
Right?
After this manner ye shall offer daily throughout the 7 days.
Go ahead.
The meat of the sacrifice made by fire of a sweet savor unto the Lord, it shall be offered beside the continual burnt offering and his drink offering.
So we offered sacrifices daily alongside the burnt offering daily. We never stopped sacrificing because it was the Sabbath. So just think about it. On the Sabbath day when we all gathered, before we gathered and did all that, we brought our sacrifices to be slaughtered and sacrificed for us to be able to eat later on in that day. Y'all get it? So we didn't stop burning the fire, especially that burnt offering, that kept going. But the sin offering and the trespass offerings, those went 7 days because you sinned. We were sinning daily.
Right.
But we had to also eat daily. Right? So don't think kindle out a fire like, oh, I can't burn a fire. Remember, that was when you were doing things on your own. Your habitation was your own home.
Right.
But if you congregated with the body and everybody has this one fire going for the same purpose, same mind, same judgment, that's where the Most High didn't look at that as a bad thing. Who got their hand? You had your hand up?
Sir. So
Yeah.
we can actually link this with Leviticus 23. I know that it goes with the Holy Convocations with Leviticus 23, because but this kind of goes to me, it kind of goes with it because you can use this with somebody when they're saying you can't do anything you can't cook on a Saturday or something like that. So that's what a lot of people go off of. You know,
I would
was
link
ignorant in that area.
I would link it more with the burning a fire in your habitation and bringing out that understanding.
Okay.
Right? We understand that. Yeah, right here, yes, you're right. He's going through the feast days.
Right.
Right? Starting with the sacrifices, then Passover. But watch, check this out. Read, right where you read it, verse 24 and 23. Right? So I would link that more with showing that the burnt offering and the sacrifices,
right,
those things were continual. They didn't stop because it was the Sabbath. You see that? They didn't stop on the Sabbath. They kept going. So, well, you can't kindle a fire. I can't warm up food. Yeah, you can. You can warm up food. Oh, you can't cook on the Sabbath. We have our Sabbath meals. Yeah, you can. We're doing it together. Now, what will be frowned upon is if you knew you were supposed to be in class and you could be, and then you go out and cooking your own meal.
Right.
That's what's frowned upon. The man that gathered sticks. Think about it. They had to gather. If you have how big was the altar again? Who remembers? 6 feet up,
10 feet.
10 feet long, 6 feet wide.
Right.
Think about the fire that had to be underneath that to keep that going. They didn't have propane tanks, right? So somebody had to gather wood.
Right.
Damn near daily, if not every couple of hours, they had people going out gathering wood to keep that fire burning. Y'all, we've all lit fires. Come on, how quick does wood burn? Yeah, it burns fast. And to keep that fire going at the level that you need it to be, you got to keep adding to that flame. So if the altar is 6 feet high, that means that fire had to at least be 5 feet high. Think about that fire. To touch the bottom of that altar, it had to go up, right? It had to go up 4 feet, maybe not 5, but maybe 4 feet. But it was a huge fire. They needed wood. Somebody had to go gather that. What was the problem with the man gathering the sticks on the Sabbath? He was doing it for himself. He wasn't out there gathering for what was happening with the convocation. He was gathering for himself.
That was the issue. So, just another scripture. The Bible, the wisdom, it keeps showing us that we were taught about the Sabbath day the wrong way, right? We were taught about the Sabbath the wrong way, that the Sabbath we weren't supposed to be a slave to this day, right? That was supposed to be our day of rest, to be with each other. But we still were able to be comfortable in the Sabbath. What was the point of being around each other and can't be comfortable enough to eat?
That's true.
Right? You can't warm, I can't kindle the fire. I can't warm up the baby's bottle. She got to drink cold breast milk. Anybody ever had cold breast milk? Well, when you look at it in the bottle, it starts to congeal a little bit, right? Who wants to drink that? Just think about it. It's little things like that, right? We in this day and age where women pump and put it in the bottles, so you don't warm that up. You don't warm up the formula.
You warm it up.
You warm it up, right? You give your baby warm breast milk so they don't get sick, right? It's simple. It's a simple logic. So anyway, y'all get that, right? Go ahead.
Verse 25. And on the seventh day ye shall have an holy convocation. Ye shall do no servile work.
Yes, servile work was like customer service type work. Goods and services. I sell you something, you exchange goods. Servile work wasn't me gathering fire for the altar. That wasn't servile work. Or servile work wasn't the priest slaughtering the animals or flaying the animals. That wasn't servile. That wasn't considered servile work. Servile work was me selling you fish and you exchanging goods. That's servile work. I'm giving you a service. Y'all get that? There was a difference between the work. You weren't supposed to be doing work for yourself, but we worked for each other. Go ahead.
Verse 26. Also in the day of the first fruit, when ye bring a new meat offering unto the Lord, after your weeks be out, ye shall have an holy convocation. Ye shall do no servile work, but ye shall offer the burnt offering for a sweet Savior unto the Lord. 2 young bullocks, 1 ram, 7 lambs of the first year, and their meat offering a flour mingled with oil, 3 tenth deals unto 1 bullock, 2 tenth deals unto 1 ram, a several tenth deal unto 1 lamb throughout the 7 lambs, and 1 kid of the goats to make an atonement for you. Ye shall offer them beside the continual burnt offering and his meat offering. They shall be unto you without blemish, and their drink offerings. Chapter 29 and verse 1.
Any questions on 28? Really just going through the sacrifices, the Passover, Feast of Trumpets, Feast of First Fruits. Just, again, all he's doing is what? I can see why the Most High is so pissed off. All he did was just reiterate himself and sound like a broken record to us in every chapter. And we were like, oh yeah, we'll do it, and then we didn't.
I just wanted to say that it's actually a beautiful thing that we always read the Torah, because you learn something new every single time. Because I skipped over this 100 times and I read it. And,
skipped over what?
This part right here, verse 28 and 24.
28, 20. Oh, right.
Yeah, we read over it. You read over it so many times, you just skip over it. But I'm not saying I don't deal with other camps, but I don't know if they read the Torah or not. I'm just saying this right here gives you a lot of understanding when you keep on reading it.
I hope they would. That's the basis of everything that we teach. I hope they do read it. That's the basis. If you ain't in the Torah, then you miss the Bible.
God.
That's the issue with church. They don't read the Torah the way we read it. They'll go in there time to time, but the law that's what the whole Bible is contingent on.
God.
Is the law, the Torah. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's why we go over it every year. We read this twice, and the more you read it, and the more you start we got to read with a level of comprehension. Reading comprehension. Reading comprehension is real big, and you know, the thing is, you got a lot of Israelites that didn't graduate high school. They didn't, they don't understand English, the English language. And what'll happen is they'll read and their comprehension won't be there. And then they'll orientate what they think they read. And it'd be wrong. But reading comprehension, I mean, you got to be able to comprehend what it is you're reading and then have the precepts to be able to give the understanding, right? So, yeah. Again, studying, reading, practicing, applying, all those things go hand in hand. Where we at?
Numbers chapter 29 and verse 1.
Right.
And in the 7th month, on the first day of the month, ye shall have an holy convocation. Ye shall do no service.
Can you explain the continual burnt offering, mostly the word continual? Continual means it don't stop. Don't stop, get. Right, continual just means it don't stop. So the burnt offering, that was a year-round, daily, weekly, monthly, just taking animals, taking the parts that we didn't eat, you put them on one side of the altar and they just burn. Right? They would just burn to a crisp. And you would just keep putting, like the head, the feet, the liver, all that stuff, the fur, and you would, boop, the fat, and you would put it. You would take the blood of the animal, you would put it into the fire. And that would destroy the disease and get rid of the blood. Or else you'd have to what? What do they do with blood when they slaughter animals? They just let it drain. Right? Remember, we didn't have sewer systems and all that stuff where you can slaughter an animal, it drains into a drain and you wash it down. So the best way to purge anything was through fire, any disease from an animal. So to get rid of those animal parts that weren't used, you just burn them. They do that on farms still today, right? They burn their trash. You go to certain countries, I know you go to Jamaica, they'll start a fire quick. Any scraps they can't get rid of, bro, they put that right inside of one of those oil containers. Fire. Burn it up. Right? So it's a good way to get rid of your waste, right? But it's also a way to keep things clean. So, and that's what the Most High wanted. That's the sacrifice he wanted. Is that rain?
It's raining.
I gotta make sure my sunroof is open. I always leave my sunroof open. I left my sunroof open at the summit. Oh my gosh. It rained so bad. It rained so bad. Yeah, man, I always have that bad habit. I drive with my sunroof open no matter what. Yeah, I'm a sunroof guy. I need the sun to shine down on my skin. I need the sun to shine down on me. You know what I'm saying? I can't do the AC in the car like that. I gotta have like breeze and sunlight. But I forget sometimes, but it's close. Hopefully everybody got their windows. Yeah. But the dope thing is when I went back in to clean it, to wipe it up, no water was in the car. It was so hot out there. Bro, I went to go wipe it up, and I'm like, wait a minute, it's dry. Bro, it was dry in there. I'm talking about it poured in my car. Out there in Carolina, when we were out, it was pouring rain. Bro, I went back to clean it up, bro. That water was gone, man. I was like, wow. No smell, no mildew. I had just got it cleaned inside, too, so they put like the Armor All, so it kind of beaded the water. Yeah. Anyway. But yeah, continual, right? If we want to go to a definition, let's do it, just to make sure, right? But, I like to use the Webster's, right? Continual, right? Continual. Proceeding without interruption or unceasing, not intermitting. The intermission is a break, right? Used in reference to time. Very frequent, often repeated. So that's what it was. It just did not stop. It always kept going. That burnt offering, but then our sacrifices. So if you can conceptualize that the burnt offering never stopped, but we needed firewood, but it was the Sabbath. Somebody had to gather wood daily, right? The fire wasn't magic, right? Somebody had to gather things for the fire to go. Somebody had to bring animals. Those things are work. But what work was that now? The work of the temple wasn't considered work or servile work. But when you worked for yourself, you gathered sticks for your home, you sold for yourself, that was considered servile work. You see that? So it just knocks down the whole fire. I can't light a fire. You see that? And the more we read, the more we'll get these little small scriptures that'll highlight certain things. When we sacrifice, who ate the food? The priests and us, right? We sat with the priests, they ate. But so if we didn't do it for one day, what would happen? They wouldn't have the food, the drink, the cakes. We baked the cakes. The meat offering was the cakes, right? We baked those and brought them to the priests. Some of them we would throw into the burnt offering, the drink offering, right? We would bring wine to the priests. When they weren't on the duty, they would drink and eat, right? They had some wine, some flesh, some bread. Balanced meal, man. Right? Ain't no veggies. No, because they would have corn. Just think about it. We'd have corn, right? We had corn, we had wheat, we had all those different things. So there was definitely veggies, the fruits. We definitely had harvest and crop, but they would eat balanced meals. They had to. Come on, man. These dudes had lifted animals all day. They had to eat. They couldn't be eating what they ate on the Matrix. Just slopped into the bowl, amino acids. Nah, bro. They had to eat. Just think about slaughtering an ox. Think about slaughtering an ox. Now, what is an ox? 500 pounds? 1,000 pounds? What about a ton? Come on, bro. Think about cutting the neck of an ox when Elisha slaughtered the ox. Bro, what type of man was he? He wasn't no little dude. No, he wasn't. He was no Rudy Poo little guy. But the priests, the Levites, they weren't either. They were some rough men. Come on, to slaughter a bull or a calf or a cow. Bro, you ever see? Okay, anybody here ever try to tie down a goat? Come on, because you know what a goat will do? That thing will take off running, and good luck. Good luck. I remember one time, man. I was in Colorado. We used to go. It was weird the way Colorado's set up. You'd be driving, it'd be just real urban and rural, and then all of a sudden, boom, farm, or just a little area where. You know where you used to live? I would die right there in Sugar Land. And you know how you would drive and it's like that whole they had that whole land, but then you keep going and it's just like regular houses and everything. That's kind of how it was set up. And we'd go there to get our goat, right? We want to make some curry goat or whatever. And I remember they tried to grab the goat to kill it. And he pulled out the knife. And that goat just took off running. He knew what was up. That goat ran in a circle, like in a square, the whole thing. And they're chasing the goat. And I'm like, damn, I'm not eating that goat. That goat got nothing but adrenaline in him. And they chased that goat, and they chased that goat, and they chased that goat. And they had to wait for the goat to just get tired. Then they slaughtered the goat. But that goat, bro, if he had more land to run, he would have just... So imagine how you had to be. You ever watch the cattle ranchers? That wrestle baby cows, and they're good at it, and they're like trying to steer it down, and that's a baby cow. Imagine a big cow or a full-size ram. A ram is not going to let you just kill it. He's going to headbutt you into outer space. We dealt with male, like go look at a ram. The ram we talked about it with the horns that wrap around. Dude, you're not just gonna walk up to him and be like, "Come with me." You got to have some level of first of all fearlessness, right? Because that animal, a goat, will kill you, right? Even a deer will kill you. They'll kill you. They'll just hind legs and just start slapping you. Bah, 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 bah. and they'll slap you in the face with their hooves and kill you, right? But you have to be a strong dude. You have to have some courage. You have to have, you know what I'm saying? You have to be stout. But then you also have to have the spirit of the Lord, where those animals didn't have to fight. They knew it was up. They just, come on, let's go. It's time. Right? Because nobody wants to eat adrenaline meat. Adrenochrome. Nobody wants that. Well, y'all get it. So, the continual, right, so she got that. Where were we at? I mean, everybody get it, right? Right. Okay, go ahead.
Numbers chapter 29 and verse 1. And in the 7th month, on the first day of the month, ye shall have an holy convocation. Ye shall do no servile work. It is a day of blowing the trumpet unto you. And ye shall offer a burnt offering for a sweet Savior unto the Lord.
Right, memorial blowing of the trumpets, which is another holy day that we celebrate. Go ahead.
One young bullock, 1 ram, and 7 lambs of the first year without blemish.
Think about it. Let's think about a young bull. A young bull. He's not trying to like let you wrestle him or take him nowhere. A young bull, you can't touch a young bull. He'll start kicking and screaming and going crazy. Right? That's a young bull. He got the energy. The old bulls got the energy too, because you definitely can't touch them. But think about it, how, like, what type of man you have to be to approach this animal. Then you bring this animal up a damn 6-foot ramp and drop the meat down. Fillet the meat. They flaying meat. And then having the strength to go up a ramp and drop that on the altar and section it. Imagine the heat. Come on, man. You know when you at that barbecue pit for Passover and you barbecuing for 15 hours? I know what that feels like. And all that smoke is ripping into your eyes and your clothes. Bro, it's a hard job to sit there and just barbecue meat. Imagine doing that for hours on end. Round the clock. But that's why there were so many priests also. There were a lot of priests that were doing this job. You had thousands of men doing one job because it was strenuous. Go ahead.
Verse 3. And their meat offering shall be of flour mingled with oil, 3 tenth deals for a bullock, and 2 tenth deals for a ram, and 1 tenth deal for 1 lamb throughout the 7 lambs, and 1 kid of the goats for a sin offering to make an atonement for you, besides the burnt offering of the month, and his meat offering, and the daily burnt offering, and his meat offering, and their drink offering, according unto their manner, for a sweet Savior, a sacrifice made by fire unto the Lord. And ye shall have on the 10th day of the 7th month an holy convocation, and ye shall afflict your souls. Ye shall not do any work therein, but ye shall offer a burnt offering unto the Lord for a sweet Savior.
So think about it. How can you not do work but then offer an offering? When it took work to cut that animal into pieces, dress the animal, right? Don't do work but offer an offering. Just in getting the animal to the altar was work. Because think about it, you couldn't bring a dirty animal. It couldn't be all just disease or whatever the case may be. So you had to go out and examine your animal for flaws and sift through your herd and find the best one. And you had to clean it up. To clean them up a little bit, right? You couldn't just bring them all dirty with mud and no, you cleaned them up because you were presenting to the Most High the best of the best. And you were showing that. That's work, right? To clean an animal, anybody ever wash a dog?
God.
Bruh, right? He washed many a dog. They don't like to get washed. They like to get wet. You're not just going to sit there and let you do it. You got to work and, no, come here, no, sit down. And you tie them up and, you know, it's work. So think about it. Let's if we're understanding here, don't do work, but then do work. What did the Most High want us to do? He wanted to do the work that he designated.
Yeah.
Right? He wanted us to do the things that concern the sacrifice, the temple, the priesthood, those things on the Sabbath. Y'all get it? Right. Go ahead.
1 young bullock, 1 ram, and 7 lambs of the first year.
Now I will say this, and I gotta say this, and it's not an excuse, and it's not a cop-out, but being that we are in captivity, what do you gotta bow to? Since we didn't want to do this, what did the Most High say? What? Serve your enemy. Right? So what does that mean? Well, now you got to work when he wants you to work. Now you got to work the job that he wants you to work. Now you got to sacrifice in a way that, you got to sacrifice that time to him. So it's not a cop-out and it's not an excuse. But what it is the reality of the situation. We're captive, right? We talked about this yesterday. Are we cursed and captive? Like, who in here is cursed? Bro, you better put your hand down. You shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. Right? We're free in Christ, but we're still in captivity.
Right.
And the more freedom we get, the more we don't have to be constrained to Esau's workforce and his rules of work. Right? I talked about it yesterday. If I wanted to pick up right now and go somewhere, I can go. Right? Concerning the schools. If I need to go to VA right now, I could jump in the car, gas up, and I'll be gone to go do that work. I'm not tied down to, man, I got to put in some time. I got to request some time. I don't got to do that. You see? So what am I saying? Well, the more we move towards the Spirit, and the more we understand what it is that we're supposed to be doing, the less you'll be constrained in that way. There is a freedom. We are in captivity, but think about it. We talked about it yesterday. The coronavirus, while everybody was tied down to the corona and locked up in their houses, what were we doing? We traveled more than we did at any time. The whole world was like our oyster. We were like, oh, we over here. We in New York. We were like bouncing from place to place and enjoying each other. We weren't slave to the situation. Yeah, still being captive in America and captive to the white man and what his rules, right? But still having that freedom in Christ.
Yep, I know that feeling. When I was locked up, they told you when to go to bed, when you get up.
Lights out!
When you eat. When you
Chow
work.
time!
Then once you out, you on paper. You can't leave the state unless
Yep.
you have permission. Like I said, these some you kick rocks with no shoes on.
Yeah.
So like my family needed me somewhere, I was still go. I was still gonna go. Now I have went there once, maybe twice, got a permit. But when I couldn't get the permit, then here for child, man.
But think about what your mind had to be even in doing that. You have to worry.
That's true.
Ain't no worrying in Christ.
That's true.
Right?
So true.
You're free from the point that I'm trying to make is that you're like, you shall know the truth shall make you free. You're free from that constraint of, damn, what they gonna do or this or that. Like, you get it. You get it after a while. You're like, I get it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not worried about that. Those people. I'm not worried about these situations, We got to get more into that mode.
Yeah, because when I would leave anyway, that's what I would do. I said, Lord, please watch over me.
Yeah.
If they catch me,
It's a wrap.
I'm out of here.
Yeah. It's a wrap. So where we at?
Verse 8.
Right. So what was I saying? As far as what was I saying? This might bring me back to the point. I stopped us for a reason. Oh, right. If you have, like, again, if you got to work on the Sabbath, because I know that people be wrestling, but I got to work on the Sabbath. Well, guess what? It's because we're in oppression. We didn't take liberty in the freedom. We didn't take advantage of the freedom that the Most High gave us to serve him. So now you got to serve your oppressor and do what he wants in the way that he wants it, until now you individually say, damn, how do I break from this? How do I break from the oppressor again? Because that's all we're trying to do is just break away from the oppressor, break those chains, right? Mentally, right? Physically, they ain't holding you down, but mentally, the mental worry of, if I don't go work for this person, how am I going to get my bills paid? If I don't show up here, how is this going to get done? That mental anguish, that's what we should be breaking from. But remember, if you have to work, then work. Work. Nobody's saying to put your family in a bad situation where all of a sudden, well, I didn't go to the Sabbath. I didn't go to work on the Sabbath and they fired me. It's y'all's fault. No. Go to work. Go to work. But where's your mind supposed to be? Right? Commit your mind to the Most High as much as you can while you're there. And if it be in your mind, guess what the Most High will do? He'll start to open up those doors to where you don't have to work on the Sabbath. You don't have to work on those days. You can have more of that freedom. He'll open it up for you. You just got to want it. But you got to do the small things first. So I have to say that part too, because I don't want nobody to feel bad that they got to work, right? We are in captivity. We are under our oppressor. You do got to work these jobs to be, that's just the way it's by design, right? It's by design. And, us trying to get out of the box of the design, we create our own jobs. And we try to create our own circumstance with our own businesses. But look, we still got brothers out there right now. They got to work, right? They have to go to work today. The mall, they got to work. So you can't fully escape it no matter what. But there is a little bit more of a freedom, right? So I just want to put that in there so nobody feels like crap or anything like that, because that's not what it's about. Go ahead.
Numbers chapter 29, verse 8, last precept. They shall be unto you without blemish.
Is that it? Michael, step up. Right, any questions? Oh. Baby. Well, my tomatoes is getting, you know what I mean? Tomatoes is getting the thirst quenched.
They are.
Mm-hmm. Like good rainwater. Michael, Shabbat Shah, Yahweh, Ban Yashala, Men of Israel. Hey, Michael, Barak.
Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shabbat Rakatham.
Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shabbat Rakatham. Yep, them tomatoes, boys, are turning red.
They are.
Oh, yeah. It's crazy. Bro, it's crazy to see it. Huh? Bro, it's crazy to see it. They were just like a neon type of green. And now they start getting like that reddish orange tint.
Oh boy!
And you can see it from the bottom going up. It's dope. It's dope. I love it. Go out there and talk to them. Right? Name them. Right? I had some okra the size of my hand.
Oh.
I cut that. Yeah, yeah. It's crazy. They go from that big to this big in like 2 days, 2-3 days. It's crazy, and they're tasty. Whew.
I love okra too.
You eat it raw or you cook it?
I just send it for a few minutes or whatever.
Bro, raw?
I get them.
Raw is...
Do it raw on.
Oh my gosh. Mm-hmm. Yeah. He ate one, right? Mm-hmm. Was it? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, bro. That's a good snack to just... Because it's not slimy when you get it, when it's a certain length, it's not slimy. The longer it gets and the bigger it gets, then it'll develop that slime. But when you get it, it's still dry inside, but it's crispy, it's fresh, it got a good little taste.
Yeah, I gotta try one now.
Let's slide over one day.
Okay.
Bring your scissors. Bring your pruners. Cut yourself. Okay. Where we at?
It's the book of Numbers, chapter 29 and verse 9. And their meat offering shall be of flour mingled with oil, 3/10 deals to a bullock, and 2/10 deals to one ram, a several tenth deal for one lamb throughout the 7 lambs. 1 kid of the goats for a sin offering, beside the sin offering of atonement, and the continual burnt offering, and the meat offering of it, and their drink offerings. And on the 15th day of the 7th month ye shall have a holy convocation. Ye shall do no servile work, and ye shall keep a feast unto the Lord 7 days. And ye shall offer a burnt offering, a sacrifice made by fire, of a sweet savor unto the Lord. 13 young bullocks, 2 rams, and 14 lambs of the first year, they shall be without blemish. And their meat offering shall be of flour mingled with oil, 3/10 deals unto every bullock of the 13 bullocks, 2/10 deals to each ram of the 2 rams, and a several tenth deal to each lamb of the 14 lambs, and 1 kid of the goats for a sin offering, beside the continual burnt offering, his meat offering, and his drink offering. And on the 2nd day ye shall offer 12 young bullocks, 2 rams, 14 lambs of the first year without spot, and their meat offering and their drink offerings for the bullocks, for the rams, and for the lambs shall be according to their number, after the manner, and 1 kid of the goats for a sin offering, beside the continual burnt offering, and the meat offering thereof, and their drink offerings.
Right, so you know I like this because it's not really that it's repetitive. What it is this is going into more detail. When you're reading Leviticus, for example, I'll read it real quick. Leviticus 23 and 27. I'll read 24. Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, in the 7th month, in the first day of the month, you shall have a Sabbath, a memorial of blowing of the trumpets, a holy convocation. You shall do no servile work, but you shall offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord. Right? So it's telling you what you should do, but then in Numbers, what is it doing? It's going more into detail of what to give. What animal, right? What sacrifice. Same thing. Also on the 10th day of the 7th month, there shall be a day of atonement. Shall be a holy convocation unto you. You shall afflict your souls and offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord. But in Numbers, what does it do? It goes into more detail of what to offer. So it's not that it's repetitive. It's just that as we keep going, the Most High goes into more detail for us. All right? So there's no misunderstanding, Cain. Go ahead. Y'all didn't get it. Got me? Shabbat, listen, you got me. Okay. Try to fly that one under the radar.
Slide it on in there.
Try to slide it in there. Go ahead.
The book of Numbers, chapter 29 and verse 20. And on the 3rd day, 11 bullocks, 2 rams, 14 lambs of the first year without blemish, and their meat offering and their drink offerings for the bullocks, for the rams, and for the lambs shall be according to their number, after the manner. And 1 goat for a sin offering, beside the continual burnt offering, and his meat offering, and his drink offering.
So what feast is this talking about?
Tabernacles.
Right, it's the Feast of Tabernacles. So again, I'll read Leviticus 23 and 34. Speak unto the children of Israel, the 15th day of this 7th month shall be the Feast of Tabernacles, for 7 days unto the Lord. On the 1st day shall be an holy convocation, you shall do no servile work. 7 days ye shall offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord. On the 8th day shall be a holy convocation unto you. Ye shall offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord. It is a solemn assembly, and ye shall do no servile work therein. But now he's breaking down each day what to give and how many. It's important. You see that? So we had to know what to give on each day. How many animals to bring for each day. Each day was different for the 7-day feast. Y'all get it?
Wow.
So Numbers, you would think, oh, he's just repeating. No, he's going into more detail. Go ahead.
And on the 4th day,
Right?
10 bullocks, 2 rams, and 14 lambs of the first year without blemish. Their meat offering and their drink offerings for the bullocks, for the rams, and for the lambs shall be according to their number, after the manner. And 1 kid of the goats for a sin offering, beside the continual burnt offering, his meat offering, and his drink offering. And on the 5th day, 9 bullocks, 2 rams, and 14 lambs of
So on the 4th day, 10 bullocks. On the 5th day, 9 bullocks. You see that? Go ahead.
2 rams and 14 lambs of the first year without spot. And their meat offering and their drink offerings for the bullocks, for the rams, and for the lambs shall be according to their number, after the manner.
Right, so think about it. Every day the bullocks go down. Y'all see that? On the 2nd day you shall offer 12 bullock. On the 3rd day, 11 bullock. On the 4th day, 10 bullock. So he decreases the number. He decreases the number according to the days left in the feast. But you know, it might not in our minds be significant. Like, well, he just, so what? What if I want to bring 12 that day? Well, what was the issue with Balaam and the donkey?
He didn't follow the complete instructions.
Right, he didn't follow to the specifications. When they call you, go. Right? What would be the problem if Noah said, "Oh, I'm gonna add a few cubits onto the ark, to Noah's ark, or I'm gonna add a few cubits on to the Ark of the Covenant, or I'm gonna add a few cubits on to the temple or to the altar." It wouldn't be up to spec. Some part of it would fail, right? And we wouldn't be showing that complete obedience. The Most High wants to see our obedience in all things. So even in our sacrifice, there had to be a level of obedience and following to specification to make the sacrifice worthy. You see that? Did the Most High care about bulls and goats?
No.
Did he care about how many you brought?
No.
It said Solomon was sacrificing like crazy to get the Most High's attention. He didn't care about that. He cared about what was in your spirit, but still to show that obedience. You see that? So very important. Go ahead.
Verse 28. And 1 goat for a sin offering, beside the continual burnt offering, and his meat offering, and his drink offering. And on the 6th day, 8 bullocks, 2 rams, and 14 lambs of the first year without blemish. And their meat offering and their drink offerings of the bullocks, for the rams, and for the lambs shall be according to their number, after the manner. And 1 goat for a sin offering, beside the continual burnt offering, his meat offering, and his drink offering. And on the 7th day, 7 bullocks, 2 rams, and 14 lambs of the first year without blemish. And their meat offering and their drink offerings for the bullocks, for the rams, and for the lambs shall be according to their number, after the manner. And 1 goat for a sin offering, beside the continual burnt offering, his meat offering, and his drink offering. On the 8th day ye shall have a solemn assembly. Ye shall do no servile work therein, but ye shall offer a burnt offering, a sacrifice made by fire of a sweet savor unto the Lord. 1 bullock, 1 ram, 7 lambs of the first year without blemish, their meat offering and their drink offerings. For the bullock, for the ram, and for the lambs shall be according to their number, after the manner. And one goat for a sin offering.
Think about this. What was one of the situations where Saul was rejected of the Most High? What was one of the situations that pertain to what we're talking about?
When he was told to kill the Amalekites, and he brought back.
Before that, this was actually the first instance where the Most High was like, you're rejected. Remember when Samuel told him to wait here, wait in this land for 7 days, I'll be there. I'll do the sacrifice, and then you can go to war. What did Saul do? He heard the enemy coming, right? And he did the sacrifice himself. And then Saul appears out of nowhere. And he's like, I waited for you, but you didn't show up. Well, you were supposed to wait longer, bro. He took the sacrifice and did it himself. First of all, that wasn't his place to do. And he might have not even did it right. So the Most High rejected the sacrifice. It wasn't done to specification. And the Most High rejected Saul from that point on. It was that instance where he saw, this guy ain't the guy. And then the Amalekite situation happened, and all these other situations start to happen. But that was the catalyst where Samuel said, wait here and I'll be down there. Just wait 7 days. I'll be down there and I'm gonna do what we got to do. Set up the burnt offering, set up the sacrifice, then we go to war. Saul, he took it upon himself, man. So you see in these matters of sacrifice, panic, but he didn't do things to specification. It wasn't his place, right? And many, there's many other situations. King Uzziah, what did he do? He burned incense when he wasn't supposed to, right? Not being a non-Levite, he went into the temple, burned incense, leprosy for life, bro. Right. Yeah, you didn't follow. Think about it. Aaron's sons. Well, they can burn incense, but you burnt the wrong incense. Dead. Dead. So what is it showing you that we talked about it? We were talking about it earlier. You can do something, but is it to the standard? You can go burn incense, come, but is it to the standard that the Most High wants? You can teach. Is it to the standard? You can do it, but is it going to be up to par of what the Most High is looking for? Or are you going to die burning your incense? Ooh, the wrong one. Or you going to die or be a leper burning the right incense, but it just ain't your place. Uzzah, right? He was a Levite. He touched the ark, but he died. Wait a minute. I thought the Levites could touch the ark. He was the wrong family, bro. You weren't the family that could touch it. You see that? That wasn't your job. It wasn't done to specifications. Right. So you see, the Most High is about detail. Right? The Most High is about detail and specifications. And he makes things plain so that we can follow. Or else, wouldn't it not be fair? Right? But that's why he said the law is not grievous. It's not hard to do. He makes it so we can do it. That's why when there's this debate about do we do this or do that, I'm like, wait, what's the easy thing? The easy thing is to just do it. The Most High don't make it hard to be understood for us to be able to do it to get the good result. He don't make it hard. The simplicity that's in Christ. Or else it wouldn't be fair to us if we had to just in the law itself have to go through this deep understanding just to get it. Right? It wouldn't be fair to us. Because we always going to lean to that carnal mind.
Sure.
So just another thought, but go ahead.
Book of Numbers chapter 29 and verse 38. And one goat for a sin offering beside the continual burnt offering and his meat offering and his drink offering. These things ye shall do unto the Lord in your set feast, beside your vows and your freewill offerings, for your burnt offerings and for your meat offerings and for your drink offerings, and for your peace offerings.
So you see these different category of offerings: peace offering, free will. Free will is like heave, wave. Those are like free will offerings. People ask like, what's the wave offering or the heave offering? Just like your free will offering, whatever you wanted to give to the priests. But they had these different categories of offerings. Y'all see that? Go ahead.
And Moses told the children of Israel according to all that the Lord commanded Moses.
And think about the detail of Moses to be able to get the orders, hearer, right? Because he was hearing these things, and then coming and giving it to the people exactly how he heard it. Think about that. You ever play the game telephone? You ever play that? Remember that game? Sit in a circle, you whisper a secret to see if everybody could give it. By the time it gets to the last person, it's like, I want to kill you. Right. But that was not what was said in the first place. That's a very fun game to play to see how information is through people. Information gets turned, right? And now we don't hear as well as we think we do. We hear, but we don't listen, right? And our mind will jump. I thought I heard you say kill. I said will. Yeah, no, it's real. That's a fun game to play. We should play that one of these feast days, man. Game of telephone. Next thing you know, it just be some weird message. It's a fun game. I haven't played that since I was a kid, but it's a very good social experiment game to see how well information travels and how, when it does travel, it changes. It changes from ear to ear.
Yep, it does.
Mouth to mouth. But it shouldn't. Moses is a good example. Noah is a good example. All the prophets of the Bible. Perfect example of information not changing. From the Most High's mouth to the ear of the people. But it changed when what? When men want to do what they want.
That's true.
Right? You'll figure out a way to not hear certain things. You'll figure out a way to shut your ear off and turn the shoulder, right? Because I don't want to hear that. Right? So, where we at? Was that it? 3:30 and 1. And that's
I got a question on verse 35.
Okay.
It says, on the 8th day, you shall have a solemn assembly.
Right.
So what's kind of the difference between the 8th day and the first day, rather than all the days in between?
Well, so the first day, on the 15th day, so verse 12, on the 15th day of the 7th month, you shall have a holy convocation. So no matter what, we all had to gather. Right? Holy convocation, that was a gathering by summons. We all had to be there. Right? You shall do no servile work. You shall keep the feast unto the Lord. So it doesn't say that. It doesn't say anything about it being a Sabbath. It was a rest day for everybody to come together. So you weren't doing your own business, but it wasn't a Sabbath. Right? I'm putting that out there because that's important also. Now, when you keep going down on the and on that day, the first day we do 13 bullocks. Right? So let's just go to the second day, verse 17. On the second day, ye shall offer 12 young bullocks, 2 rams, 14 lambs, and their meat offering, drink offering. So the days in between the first and the 8th, you didn't necessarily have to, it doesn't say that it was a convocation that have to be together with everybody, but you still have to do these sacrifices. So you still have to bring your sacrifices to the temple, right? But it was more like think about it. What feast is this? Tabernacles, right? So you would be more in your tent with your family, right? But then on that 8th day now, to close out the feast, everybody got to gather in one place. Sacrifice. So that was the difference. Where the first day, everybody together to bring in the feast. The 8th day, everybody together to bring out the feast, to close it out. And in the days in between, you would gather with your family. Or I might pull up to his house, or pull up to his house, or pull up to his spot. You know what I'm saying? And have a feast. Because that's how we do tabernacles, right? Some days we'll do like gather on the 1st, gather on the 8th, and then the days in between we'll pick different things to do. I mean, you believe it or not, 8 days of feasting, you need a rest day in between. Right?
Okay.
You need a rest day in between. So we'll rest and everybody just take a day off from feasting, but still you're with your family. So that was the difference. You get that?
Okay.
Yeah. Everybody get that? Right. So Jeremiah chapter 1 verse 1. We're jumping to Jeremiah chapter 1 and verse 1. Pop quick.
30 and 1.
Oh, read 30 and 1.
It's the book of Numbers, chapter 30 and verse 1.
Right.
And Moses spake unto the heads of the tribes concerning the children of Israel, saying, This is the thing which the Lord hath commanded.
Uh-oh. Next week. Ooh, vow time. Next week. Y'all see that verse 2? It's gonna get dicey. It's gonna get dicey next week. We gonna talk about vows next week? Okay, I'll make sure I'm gonna be nice. I'll be nice. Go to everybody got that? Any questions? Any questions and numbers? Now we're gonna jump over to Jeremiah chapter 1, verse 1. Pop quiz. What was Jeremiah prophesying? Who was he prophesying to, first of all? Kingdom split. Who was he going to? Pop quiz. I gotta know this.
Go ahead.
Who was Jeremiah prophesying to? Well, that was his. If I'm not mistaken, that was his father. Huh? Right. Now, what was he prophesying to them about? The coming what? No. But yeah, yeah, you're right. It was a promise. Promise to beat Joe. Right? Right? What was the promise? What was the promise that the Most High said? What was the coming captivity?
Was he supposed to, for them to be over, for them to be over all the nations?
No. He was prophesying Babylon. He was prophesying Babylon and then our release from Babylon, the Babylonian captivity. It's important to know because when you know what prophet is dealing with what, remember, you had consecutive prophets and you had minor and major. Jeremiah prophesied one thing, then Isaiah came back and prophesied another at different times in captivity. But Jeremiah was before the Babylonian captivity, where when you look at the state of Israel being split, the nation was in the tank, spiritually, economically, right? We weren't doing good, but we thought we were doing good, right? And so now here's Jeremiah sent to warn the people. Listen, wake up. This coming captivity is on the rise. If y'all don't get back to serving the Most High, these Babylonians gonna come and rip you out the land, right? And that's basically, we know that's what happened because we didn't listen. We didn't listen to Jeremiah. We did our own thing. We kept moving the way we wanted to, and that's what happened. And what I want to start doing on Monday, we've been kind of doing it. You know, our Monday class, we go over breakdowns or whatever questions y'all got. But I want to start going through these captivities. The who, what, where's, when's, why's. It's important. How many major captivities were there?
4.
No, more than 4. We in the what captivity right now? What?
7.
Right. We're in the 7th major. There was more than 4, but we're like the major, the Assyrian, the Babylonian, Greek, Roman, right? Egyptian. Those major captivity that lasted years. And we're in the longest captivity right now, which is Esau, right? The Roman, whatever you want to call it. But it's important to be able to go through and understand what was the state of the people, what were we thinking, where were we at in our society, where were we at concerning the Most High. But the best part I like is that, think about it, every captivity he took us out, right? So if we repeat that pattern, what was it that got us out of the captivities? Even the 80 years in Egypt, when Joseph went down, and after that time, that 80 years of captivity, what pulled us out of captivity, right? What pulled us away from the Babylonian captivity? What pulled us out of the Assyrian captivity? What's going to get us out of this captivity, right? So I want to start putting those classes together and go in depth on those, you know, a little something different, right? A little it's history mixed with more history. You got to get these history classes in. You got to know We got to know our history. America pumped into you what? Their history, American history, right? And they stripped away your history. So it's important to know where we've been and where we're trying to go. So you want those classes? You got to be here on Monday. We don't go live on Monday, right? But if you want that, you got to be here. It's only 2 hours. It's only 2 hours, man. 7 to 9. So if you can, try to push yourselves. Well, let's go to Jeremiah. Jeremiah 1 and 1. You got it, Issachar.
So we got Jeremiah chapter 1, verse 1. The words of Jeremiah, the son of Hilkiah, of the priests that were in Anathoth in the land of Benjamin, to whom the word of the Lord came in the days of Josiah, the son of Ammon, king of Judah, in the 13th year of his reign. It came also in the days of Jehoiakim, the son of Josiah, king of Judah, unto the end of the 11th year of Zedekiah, the son of Josiah, king of Judah, unto the carrying away of Jerusalem captive in the 5th month. Then the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee. Before thou camest forth out the womb, I sanctified thee. And I ordained thee a prophet unto the nations. Then said I, O Most High, behold, I cannot speak, for I am a child.
All right, Moses. All right, Moses. Yeah. All right, no. All right, Israel. I'd just rather be by myself. I ain't a good talker. I'm shy. Man, you better get that off you. You better get that off you because we've been ordained to do a job. Public speaking. This is what you got to get used to. I remember, listen, there was a time I would never be able to get up here and talk. But I don't got to say my own thing. I could just go here. Right? It makes it easier. Right? It makes it a lot easier when it's not your words. So the Most High ordained us to do this, to come out that shyness, that bashfulness, and talk to our people. Go ahead.
Verse 7. But the Lord said unto me, Say not, I am a child, for thou shalt go to all that I shall send thee, and whatsoever I command thee, thou shalt speak.
There it is.
Be not afraid of their faces, for I am with thee to deliver thee, saith the Most High. And the Lord put forth his hand and touched my mouth. And the Lord said unto me, Behold, I have put my words in thy mouth. See, I have this day set thee over the nations and over the kingdoms, to root out and to pull down and to destroy and to throw down, to build and to plant. Moreover, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Jeremiah, what seest thou? And I said, I see a rod of an almond tree. Then said the Lord unto me, Thou hast well seen, for I will hasten my word to perform it. The word of the Lord came unto me the second time, saying, What seest thou? And I said, I see a seething pot, and the face thereof is toward the north. Then the Lord said unto me, Out of the north an evil shall break forth upon all inhabitants of the land. For lo, I will call all the families of the kingdoms of the north, saith the Lord, and they shall come, and they shall set every one his throne at the entering of the gates of Jerusalem, and against all the walls thereof round about, and against all the cities of Judah.
And if you want to know, like when we read, remember we had the major prophet Jeremiah, but then you had Habakkuk and Zephaniah. Those were the minor prophets. They were at the same time basically prophesying the same thing. So if you're reading Habakkuk, if you're reading Zephaniah, you're like, wait a minute, that sounds like Jeremiah. Well, because they're prophesying the same thing. The coming captivity, the deterioration of Israel, and how to come back to that repentance. Y'all get that? So it's important to know major prophet, minor prophet, what king was in power. And then you'll be able to understand that, wait a minute, even though these books are all the way in the back of the Old Testament, they still go with kings. The book of Kings, the book of Chronicles, they still are in that time frame. You see that? That's important too. So Zephaniah and Habakkuk were his contemporaries, his counterparts. Y'all get that? Go ahead.
Verse 16. And I will utter my judgments against them, touching all their wickedness, who have forsaken me, and have burned incense unto other gods, and worshipped the works of their own hands. Now therefore gird up thy loins, and arise, and speak unto them all that I command thee. Be not dismayed at their faces, lest I confound thee before men, before them. For behold, I have made thee this day defense city, and an iron pillar, and brazen walls against the whole land, against the kings of Judah, against the princes thereof, against the priests thereof, and against the people of the land. And they shall fight against thee, but they shall not prevail against thee, for I am with thee, saith the Lord, to deliver thee.
Right, and I'm probably wondering why the almond. Remember he said, "What do you see? I see an almond tree budding." I mean, what was the significance? Well, the almond tree is one of the first trees to bud during the spring. New life, new beginning. But this was what? The beginning of that judgment against the people. Jeremiah was signifying that judgment, right? This is what's going to happen if we don't follow. So you know how the Most High speaks in symbolism, right?
That last precept on verse 17, that's deep. He told him, lest I confound you before him.
Yeah.
He tell him he's going to jack him up.
Thou therefore gird up thy loins and arise and speak unto them all that I command thee. Be not dismayed at their faces, lest I confound thee before them. Yeah. That's kind of what happened with Moses.
Whoa.
Right? It's kind of what happened with Moses. Go and talk to the rock. He hit it. Now Moses is confounded. He's locked up, not being able to go to the promised land, but just having to see it afar off. And all the people knew it. It wasn't like they didn't know.
Wow.
They knew it. Details. I like that.
Their fault.
So we're going to Jeremiah chapter 2.
Yeah, 2 to 3. Mm-hmm.
Moreover, the word of the Lord came to me, saying, Go and cry in the ears of Jerusalem, saying, Thus saith the Lord, I remember thee, the kindness of thy youth, the love of thine espousals, when thou wentest after me in the wilderness, in a land that was not sown. Israel was holiness unto the Lord, and the first fruits of his increase. All that devour him shall offend. Evil shall come upon them, saith the Lord.
Yeah, because in the wilderness, that's when we were in our tender, holy age. That we were untainted, right? We were coming out of the filth of Egypt, right? But we were basically untainted. We actually cried out for the Most High to save us from Egypt. We were actually looking towards the Most High. And in that wilderness, yeah, we made mistakes. You know, we got very presumptuous in certain things, and he checked us. But for the most part, we were trying to follow the Most High. We had Moses, we had Caleb, Joshua. We had those men. We had the law. We had the pillar by day, cloud, fire by night. So we had all these different signs. So we were definitely in a different stage in our maturation. We were a lot younger and more holy. And then we, you know what happens. We got out in them streets. Right? We got out in them streets, man, and started seeing the nations, mingled amongst the heathen, and learn their works. So, I mean, everybody understand that, Jeremiah? Remember, when you read these books, you got to understand time. Time and context. I mean, the whole Bible, but it's important to understand who is he talking to and what is he saying? What are they talking about? And you get a better understanding of the chapters and of the whole book. What was Jeremiah's mission? Every prophet was sent on a mission. So where we jump to now?
We're going to the book of John, St. John chapter 2 and verse 13. St. John chapter 2.
And then we're going to jump into the Wisdom of Solomon. If y'all got any questions on the reading, shoot them out. Excuse me. Go ahead. St. John.
The book of John chapter 2 verse 13. And the Jews' Passover was at hand, and Yahushua went up to Jerusalem, and found in the temple those that sold oxen and sheep and doves and the changers of money sitting. And we had made a scourge of small cords He drove them all out of the temple, and the sheep, and the oxen, and poured out the changers' money, and overthrew the tables, and said unto them S.O.W, take these things hence, make not my father's house an house of merchandise. And his disciples remembered that it was written, the zeal of thine house hath eaten me up. Then answered the Jews and said unto him, what sign showest thou unto us, seeing that thou doest these things?
Now think about it. What did Phineas do when he saw that? Wait a minute, these cats they're distorting the law and breaking the law. That judgment was to kill. He killed those people, right? Now here comes Yahushua, fast forward, and it's the same extreme. It's still the same thing. They're breaking the law. They in there gambling in the temple. You can only imagine what was going on in there. It wasn't just animals and this and that. You could imagine what was happening in that temple, right? But did Yahushua come through with the spear, right? But he definitely was checking them, right? Get up out of here. But think about the mercy. Think about the grace, because that's what Yahushua was showing, that look, even though I'm gonna check you, I'm gonna still have mercy on you for you to learn that you can't do this in this house. He could have wiped the whole temple out. He could have prayed to the Most High, and that temple could have fell on all them people and all them animals. But where would the grace and the mercy have been? Right? Where would the teaching, the learning, to live soberly and righteously in this present world, like it says in Titus 2:11, where would that have been if he would have just killed them all? Could have.
Wow.
Don't you know I could pray to my Father and call down legions? Right? That's right. But the Son of Man came not to destroy men's lives, but to save men's lives. You see that? So again, Yahushua being zealous for the law, still having compassion on the people. Yeah, he whooped them out of the temple, but he didn't kill them.
Right.
He didn't behead them. He didn't stone them. He didn't even get them stoned. You see that? So, did you read all of it?
No, verse 19. Yahushua answered and said unto them, destroy this temple, and in 3 days I will raise it up. Then said the Jews, 46 years was this temple in building, and wilt thou rear it up in 3 days?
And obviously he wasn't talking about the temple, he's talking about his body. They didn't get it. He's talking about himself being put to death and then rise 3 days later. Go ahead.
But he spake of the temple of his body. When therefore he was risen from the dead, his disciples remembered that he had said this unto them. And they believed the scripture and the word which Yahushua had said. So.
Right. Any questions on that before I go to Wisdom of Solomon? So, we're at Wisdom of Solomon chapter 12. As y'all know, we've been trying to incorporate the Apocrypha into our reading so we can get a little bit more complete reading. And all we're doing is just adding a chapter, just going through it from First Ezra right on. So we're at Wisdom of Solomon 12. In verse 1, for thine incorruptible spirit is in all things. Therefore, chastenest thou them by little and little that offend, and warnest them by putting them in remembrance wherein they have offended, that leaving their wickedness they may believe on thee, O Yahweh. For it was thy will to destroy by the hands of our fathers both those old inhabitants of thy holy land, whom thou hatedest for doing most odious works of witchcrafts and wicked sacrifice. And also those merciless murderers of children and devourers of men's flesh, and the feasts of blood. So all them sacrifices, right? Amalek, the god of Ammon and Moab, and what is it? I can't. Molech, right? I said Amalek. Molech and Chunin and All those sacrifices, right? Those were, you sacrifice your babies, drinking blood, all those things that the Most High hate, and he destroys those people. With their priests out of the midst of their adulterous crew, and the parents that killed with their own hands souls destitute of help, because that's what you have to do when you sacrifice to Molech. You toss your kids into that fire. Baal, when you sacrifice, that was all that, man. All that children sacrifice. And the land which thou esteemest above all other might receive a worthy colony of God's children. Nevertheless, even those thou sparedest as men, and didst send wasps, forerunners of thine host, to destroy them little by little. Not that thou wast unable to bring the ungodly under the hand of the righteous in battle, or to destroy them at once with cruel beast, or with one rough word, but executing thy judgment upon them, by little and little thou gavest them place of repentance. See that? So the Most High don't go full force. Why? He's trying to, right? He said it's not his pleasure to take men's lives, right? He wants us to come to repentance, all men. But he will let you get to the fullness of your filth and then bring you down, right? Place of repentance, not being ignorant that they were a naughty generation, and that their malice was bred in them, and that their cogitation would never be changed. Wow. Woo! That's cold. So think about us in the wilderness when he was wiping us out by the thousands. What is it saying here? And I'm just using the wilderness as an example. He's saying that the Most High wasn't ignorant that our minds weren't going to change from our ignorance and from our wickedness.
Right.
But what was he doing? Little by little, chastising groups. 250,000 die here. The next day, 14,000. Remember that? Korah and Dathan? 250 died and 14,000 died because they murmured the next day. But think about the ones that saw that and said, oh, wait, hold up. Let me not be like them. Let me not be like them. So there were some that saw that and they were able to move from their wickedness. But the ones that died, Most High wasn't ignorant that they weren't gonna.
Right.
They were the example. You see that? For it was a cursed seed from the beginning. Neither didst thou, for fear of any man, give them pardon for those things wherein they sin. For who shall say, what hast thou done? Or who will withstand thy judgment? Or who shall accuse thee for the nations that perish? Man, our people are garbage. They love doing this. Good, what? God don't love white people? How come the white man can't get to heaven? But Solomon is like, who gonna accuse the Most High for the nations that perish, for the evil that perishes? You must be tripping if you sitting back talking about how come the white man can't get to heaven. How come Chinese people can't get to heaven? You tripping.
They so tripping.
You tripping.
They tripping.
Right? He said, who is going to accuse thee? It's crazy. Right? Whom thou hast made, or who shall come to stand against thee to be revenged of the unrighteous men? See, this was the problem with what was the Canaanite dude? That Tower of Babel. Nimrod. This was his problem. Nimrod was in the mind that I'm going to go kill the Most High for killing my ancestry. So let's build a Tower of Babel to get to God. He was pissed off. He was mad at the Most High. Why? Because the Most High destroyed the unrighteous, and Nimrod wasn't rocking with that. But where did that get him? Nowhere. Yep. For neither is there any God but thou that careth for all, and to whom thou hast, to whom thou mightest show that thy judgment is not unright. Neither shall king or tyrant be able to set his face against thee for any whom thou hast punished. You see that?
Damn.
Yeah, bro. You can't stand up to the Most High for his judgment. Hell nah. For as much then as thou art righteous thyself, thou orderest all things righteously. thinking it not agreeable with thy power to condemn him that hath not deserved to be punished. So when you see babies getting wiped out, when you see people getting wiped out, flood and this and famine and fire, for as much then as thou art righteous thyself, thou orderest all things righteously. It's a righteous thing in the Most High's eyes to do his works.
John.
Y'all get it? John. For thy power is the beginning of righteousness. And because thou art the Lord of all, it maketh thee to be gracious unto all. For when men will not believe that thou art of a full power, thou showest thy strength. And among them that know it to makest their boldness manifest. But thou, mastering thy power, judgest with equity. Remember Isaiah 11? He shall judge with equity and righteousness. Think about it. If the Most High wanted to, he could just wipe out the earth. With one, it said with one word. Done. Oh, thou shalt, let there be light. Let there be darkness. Boop, gone. But he's not wielding that power because of his righteousness, because of his equity, fairness, right? Think about how he judged Egypt, but Israel had light. Egypt was dark, no light. He was fair to us, and he was judging them. 19, but by such works hast thou taught thy people that the just man should be merciful, and hast made thy children to be of good hope, that thou gavest repentance for sins. If thou didst punish the enemies of thy children, and condemn to death with such deliberation, giving them time and place whereby they might be delivered from their malice. With how great circumspection didst thou judge thine own sons, unto whose fathers thou hast sworn and made covenants of good promises. Therefore, whereas thou hast chastened us, thou scourgest our enemies 1,000 times more, to the intent that, when we judge, we should carefully think of thy goodness. And when we ourselves are judged, we should look for mercy. Wherefore, whereas men have lived dissolutely and unrighteously, thou hast tormented them with their own abominations. You reap what you sow. Your own wickedness will correct you. For they went astray very far in the ways of error, and held them for gods, which even among the beasts of their enemies were despised, being deceived as children of no understanding. Therefore unto them, as to children without the use of reason, thou didst send a judgment to mock them. But they that would not be reformed by that correction wherein he dallied with them shall feel a judgment worthy of God. For look, for what things they grudged when they were punished, that is, for them whom they thought to be gods, now being punished in them. When they saw it, they acknowledged him to be the true power, of whom before they denied to know, and therefore it came extreme damnation upon them. Think about it.
Wow.
Think about it.
That was heavy.
Just think about when you believed in, think about if you was in Egypt and the Most High turned the waters into blood. Even the very cup that had water, you went to go drink, and it was blood. And you pray into your God, and you all you got is blood. You digging up wells, blood. You trying to dig under the ocean, blood. And the only thing you could come back to is the Most High. Whew. But then you had so much pride that you didn't give the Most High the credit. You gave whatever God the credit. Mm-hmm. And you died what? Either drinking that blood or of thirst. Your own punishment, your own wickedness. Right? The firstborn, you gave him all the credit. Pharaoh, you gave him all the credit. He was your God on earth. But guess what? He died. So what did you have? Because your pride wouldn't let you see. The Egyptians' pride wouldn't let them see the Most High. Yeah, I'm about to I got to drop this class, man. I got to drop this 10 plagues class. And show the challenge in the Most High putting the gods of Egypt to the test. Every plague was a god of Egypt, and every plague was the Most High showing that the gods of Egypt were nothing. What's up?
I know all the 10 plagues.
As you should, son. As you should. It's good to know. It's good to know your history. Right? So, any questions on that? Right? Wisdom of Solomon. Weighty and meaty. Any questions off the topic of the reading? Any questions in general? Remember, Passover garment, get the money in early. If you want a garment, please get it in early so they can start getting to work. I've had 2 brothers so far get me money in. $25 every 2 weeks is not a lot of dough. It's gonna be better for you in the long run. That way you don't have to come with a bulk of money.
Don't worry, please, I got you.
Yeah, $25, man. Just all you gotta do for that week, cut a 6-pack or 2, cut the Starbucks. You know what I'm saying? Cut the Pizza Hut. You know, I'm serious. Just look at what you're spending the money on and say, oh, I could just throw that to my garment real quick. Sacrifice.
Right.
It's a sacrifice, man, and it got to be a sacrifice. If you're not fighting for it, then it's not going to be worth it. Right? So, $25, please. To help the sisters out to get these garments done. Remember, also, we're traveling to Virginia for Passover. Now, I'm going to say this. Them plane tickets is they're hefty. Plane tickets are very expensive. Start saving your money for travel. We're going to try to definitely rent vans and things like that to drive. Quadazab don't want to drive. I got too many miles on my body. I want to fly. I want to fly.
I ain't never flew in my life. I ain't getting on.
You never flew in my life? Damn. Yeah, I'll fly because I've been flying my whole life.
He gave you wings, cool.
I've been flying my whole life, so I'm good with it.
I hear you.
But
I've been walking on this earth all mine. I'm good with it.
right? I hear you. I just don't want to fly. I just don't want to drive because, man, you know how many miles I done drove? This last trip was 3,000 miles. I don't got it in me.
Yeah, people be talking about, well, oh, you can get up here and fly. Ain't no big deal. If it ain't your time to go, you're gonna be all right. Yeah, but it may be somebody else's time to go up there.
Hey, there's less plane accidents than there are car accidents. So,
Oh man, the plane company made that up, bro.
no, there's not a plane accident every day. The point is this: stack money for travel, stack money for the garment. The most pressing thing right now is the garment. $25 a week, you'll be able to knock out $300 in what? Boom, boom, like 3 months, 4 months.
It would be.
50, 100, 150, 6 months.
Well, you know, I'm ready to do mine moderately, which is 50 a month.
That's fine.
I can't.
However y'all got to do it, even if you want to do more, you can do it. But just try to get the money in. If we could order materials, I'm going to keep saying this. I know I'm going to sound repetitive, but I'm going to keep saying it. All right, so is that it? Am I going to point up and down? Set records. Cats running through Sabbath class.
Hey, Dad, can you
Max.
ask the rash?
You got him out. You could ask him. Tell him to get those childranos in here.
I already told him.
Those young childranos. Those young childranos. Barakatah Yahweh. Barakatah Yahweh. Ba'ashem Yahushua.
Blessed are you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai that gives to us the law.
Barakatah Yahweh.
Barakatah Yahweh.
Ba'ashem Yahushua.
Ba'ashem Yahushua.
A war.
Blessed are you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai that gives us the light to see.
Barakatah Yahweh.
Barakatah Yahweh.
Ba'ashem Yahushua.
Ba'ashem Yahushua. Blessed are you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai that gives us the ram's horn to call the people.
Barakatah Yahweh.
Barakatah Yahweh.
Ba'ashem Yahushua.
Ba'ashem Yahushua. Blessed are you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai that gives to us the olive oil to anoint Israel.
And I skipped the part, so we'll go back. Barakatah Yahweh.
Ba'ashem
Yahushua.
Ba'ashem
Yahushua. Shemai. Shalach. Micah. And the righteous angels. To watch over. Shema'al. Barak. Rapah. Kazak. Magun. Samak. Ha'ain. Yasha'ala. Shalach. Much wisdom. Knowledge. Understanding. Much patience. Faith. Brotherhood. Love. Spiritual power. Salakia. Of all of our sins. Shalach. Yahweh Shai. For in thee is I hope. Always and forever. Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. The water. Yad. Aman.
Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, please listen to us now, right now. Send Michael and the righteous angels to watch over, bless, heal, protect, and make strong the people of Israel. Also send unto us much wisdom, much knowledge, much understanding, much patience, much faith, much brotherhood, and much love. Spiritual power, and forgive all of our sins. Yahweh Shai, come quickly, for in thee is our hope always and forever. Amen. Psalms 92. It is a good thing to give thanks unto the Lord, and to sing praises unto thy name, O Most High, to show forth thy loving kindness in the morning, and thy faithfulness every night, upon an instrument 10 string, and upon the psaltery, upon the harp with a solemn sound. For thou, Yahweh, hast made me glad through thy work. I will triumph in the works of thy hand. O Yahweh, how great are thy works! And thy thoughts are very deep. A brutish man knoweth not. Neither doth a fool understand this. When the wicked spring as the grass, and when all the workers of iniquity do flourish, it is that they shall be destroyed forever. But thou, O Yahweh, art most high forevermore. For lo thine enemies, O Yahweh, lo thy enemies shall perish. All the workers of iniquity shall be scattered. But mine horn shall thou exalt like the horn of a unicorn. I shall be anointed with fresh oil. Mine eyes also shall see my desire. On mine enemies. And mine ears shall hear. My desire of the wicked will rise up against me. The righteous shall flourish like the palm tree. He shall grow like a cedar in Lebanon. Those that be planted in the house of Yahweh Shai shall flourish in the courts of Yahweh. They shall still bring forth fruits. In old age. They shall be fat and flourishing. To show
Hamalawad,
Hamalawad,
Nadawad,
Nadawad, Hanan,
Matawad,
Matawad,
Wama,
Wama,
Ayam, Shabbat,
Shabbat,
Akim,
Gam,
Yachad,
Hashaman,
Hatawad,
Al,
Haraash,
Yerad,
Al,
Zakwan,
Aharon, Shayarad, Alpaya, Madawatiwa, Katal, Karam 1, Shayarad, Al, Hararya, Tazaya 1, Kaya, Sham, Tazawa, Yahweh, Habaraka, Kayayam, Ai,
Book of Psalms, chapter 133. Behold, how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. It is like the precious ointment upon the head, that ran down upon the beard, even Aaron's beard, that went down to the skirts of his garments, as the dew of Hermon, and as the dew that descended upon the mountains of Zion. For there the Lord commanded the blessing, even life, forevermore.
Bahasham Yahushai.
Bahasham Yahushai.
The water. From Yad.
Amen.
Circle up. Move over. Manashah, move over. Noah, move over. Just move over. You don't get it. Call it.
Men of Israel, I imagine. Barak.
Yahweh, Shem Yahushai, Rakatah.
Hands down, let's turn and face the lovely daughters of Zion. Sisters rise, call it.
Saluting out the daughters of Zion. Akim, imagine. Barak.
Yahweh Shematan, Yahweh Shem Yahushai.
Yahya Matah, hands down. Dismiss. Let's say shalom to everybody online.
Shalom!
Be back Wednesday.